Hello.
Hey guys.
So we're back. If you watched the first one, if not, this is a review of Endgame. If you were there before. It's a sequel
Yeah, if you haven't,
It's
go
part-
back and watch the other one.
or not. If you don't want to, we're gonna talk about Endgame for a bit. Okay, so let's get crickety cracking because we got a hell of a lot to talk about, and we don't want to make this longer than the actual movie. So. First things first, we'll keep it spoiler free for a few minutes at the very least, and just at least make our thoughts on it clear. So if you want to start first, if we just go like one sentence to say to not sum it up, but like some of your feelings towards Endgame. Oh, to explain the situation, you have now seen this movie twice.
We both saw it at midnight screening, as we said we would.
And then I've since seen it twice after that, so I've seen it 3 times. So I'm a bit more of an Endgame veteran of watching this.
Just so that way we know what we're talking about rather than just plucking things out of the dark.
We were going to do it straight after, but I think leaving some time is going to make it a bit better. Because we're a bit more aware of things, aware of how other people have reacted, sort of thing. Okay, so go on, your sentence.
One sentence.
Completely spoiler.
Completely spoiler.
This isn't even going to hint at anything.
No. As you said last time out,
God,
movie defining a generation. It was absolutely incredible. Ups and downs, roller coaster, absolutely brilliant.
Okay, the way I'm going to describe it, and to before people get angry at me, you'll need the spoilers to understand what I'm saying here. But I would say I am completely satisfied. I've liked it more the more I've seen it. I'm not blown away, but the principle of that is this movie had such an extreme level of hype, it's impressive that they managed to achieve even that level of satisfaction from it. I'll explain more of what that means and why I might be, but watch it. It's a bit late to say watch it spoiler free because spoilers are lifting tomorrow.
Yeah, Monday.
So watch it with as minimal spoilers as possible because that is a very different experience, and I feel you will feel better watching it again knowing that you didn't know that the first time.
Yeah, it was a very different experience the second time around than the first time.
Yes.
The first time is just excitement. Midnight screening always is. Second time you managed to notice things that you probably weren't looking for the first time, or because you knew the story, you knew to look for certain things the second time around. So.
Okay, so with that said, this is now the point. This is the point of spoilers. There are going to be spoilers from this point onwards. There are going to continue to be spoilers for the entire rest of this episode.
If you
do not listen to this if you don't want spoilers, because if you don't want spoilers and you listen to this, this is your own fault. If you skipped ahead and skipped the spoiler warning, you're an idiot, and I blame you for it. So, with that said, yes, there are still spoilers if you've skipped 10 seconds. We're still talking about the fact there might be spoilers. So, stop listening, go and watch it, and then come back and listen to the spoiler bit. And if you have seen it, then you're allowed to stay.
Alright, I think the warning's enough now.
There's spoilers.
Right.
Lots of spoilers. Jeez.
Cool.
I'm sick and tired of people commenting on videos that say spoiler in the title and they're like, why did you spoil it? It says spoilers. Just stop looking at things. So spoilers. Anyway, back to the episode. So, let's start. Oh, there's one thing. Oh, I ruined it. We'll do it at the end. We'll do it after spoilers. But we've got our own I'm trying to think of it. Completely unique review system.
Yeah.
Which there's technically not spoilers for a bit because we're just gonna quickly just sum up how we felt about it. So if you're still listening and you were really playing with Devil, you somehow come out on top somehow in this situation.
I don't know.
So anyway, otherwise just count it as spoilers. So we will be reviewing movies until we change our minds on the system.
We'll find a better way of doing it.
We will either give it a woo or a boo. We're giving it a woo or a boo.
That exact inflection.
And you've got to go woo or boo. And that's it. It's not a woo. It's not just a woo or a boo. It's more than that. So anyway.
So James, you go first.
On the first of
or a boo.
On the thoughts of giving it a woo or a boo. Or we're just gonna keep doing this now. Anyway, so I would give I would give Endgame 10 woos out of 10 woos. There's not actually 10 woos. There's just a woo or a boo. There's no options for numerical values in this. It's a woo or a boo. I'm giving it a woo.
Yeah, I think I'm going to give it a woo too. To be honest, it's quite good.
Why are we giving it a woo too? Because it's a good movie. Anyway, now there are spoilers.
Yeah.
So again, if you were really playing with fate and you carried on listening even after we said that, this is your time to leave. I did it enough before. I'm not going to carry on. So, what happened in this movie? There was lots of stuff that happened. You should all know what happened because you've all seen it. So we don't have to explain it, but we are going to anyway.
Yeah, because we'll talk about it at the same time.
So this movie opens
Yeah.
in a beautiful way. There is no titles. There's no logos. We go straight to a scene that I frankly feel should have been a post-credits sort of thing of Infinity War. Just to get him in that movie, but
they did the same with Captain Marvel, I suppose. So.
Yeah, it was a beautiful moment in this movie, and it was very warranted being at the start. And I'm happy it was there.
Yeah.
Incredible, you see Incredible, you see Hawkeye's family die. It's really sad.
Yeah, and I think one really interesting. So obviously the midnight screenings, you always get audience reaction, which is why I love it so much. And I think to kick off the movie with that. Immediately, like, the audience was groaning. It was like, oh god, no. We all knew what was coming. It was beautiful. It's a really nice scene as well. Like, just genuinely, and in terms of, like, character building and stuff. Obviously, we saw a lot of Hawkeye with his family in the Age of Ultron and stuff, but, like, this was really...
So this is my last point to moan about this, because he's probably dead for the future, because he's probably got something better to do. He's not dead. See, I duped you out, spoiler listeners. Anyway, so Hawkeye's family in Age of Ultron was met with, to say the least, controversy. Now, I'm telling you, it was the greatest decision ever, because this movie, I don't think has the same gravity, and certain developments that happen later with Tony Stark don't have the same gravity if you make it seem like he's the first person to do it.
Yeah.
And it makes it seem a lot more shallow. To know that Hawkeye has a family and he has this family with his kids that are growing up at a surprisingly alarming rate, given it's been 3 years and she was like, 5 in the first one?
Pretty sure, yeah.
But irrelevant of age, his family, I think, was massively important. I think he sort of is, to a degree, the moral heart of it, in terms of he is a dude.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you think about the rest of the Avengers, yes, they've all got friends and family, but he's probably the only one who's building something from himself.
Yes.
Like, obviously, it's the reason why the Tony Stark thing hit later, but, you know, Bruce Banner, Captain Rogers, Iron Man, Black Widow, all of Thor. I mean, Thor obviously had lost his family before Infinity War. They were all almost on their own. So yes, Infinity War was them losing their friends, and Snap was them losing their friends. But this is the first time where it almost, in a way, got personal. It was like he was now left where he had all of his family, and now they're gone. And I think that was the crap moment. Because I could have showed it with any family. Because it's the same for any family.
It's just an incredibly poignant moment. And beyond that, I think with him and Tony Stark both having families in this, I think the important thing about this scene is Hawkeye loses 50%. You should keep 50% of the people you love, the people you care about. Hawkeye loses every single one, and Tony Stark keeps every single one. And I think if you look at the two parts of them, Hawkeye trying to make things right in his own way, and Tony Stark being unwilling to even consider at first, just the idea it's not worth the risk. He got so incredibly lucky. He knows how lucky he was, and Hawkeye knows how unlucky he was, and he wants to take that on everyone else. But I think this was a beautiful note to start on.
Yeah, and that moves us on kind of to the way that people dealt with the grief in the next two sort of moments. So obviously we then go back to the Avengers base. Well, no, we then go to Tony Stark up in space.
Yes, and this is where I think on the writer's drafts, I can see a draft where this was Tony Stark's end.
Yeah,
and
I saw that.
I can really I really love the idea of them going, well, we could just do it here. There was talk about the way they were going to split this movie up, and I can't remember if I referenced it before or not, but maybe having certain scenes in this, or certain going up to certain points in this, taking place in Infinity War and then starting Endgame later. What I assume that the main point would have been going up to 5 years later, having all that in Infinity War, and then 5 years later is the start of Endgame. And then the idea that you maybe don't know if Tony Stark survives at the end of Endgame, at the end of Infinity War, sorry.
Yeah.
But I thought they had several moments, genuine moments, where you could have killed characters and it felt real, and I think that brought a lot of they earned the what's the word? They earned the tension because you felt it for these characters.
Well, I think Infinity War set that precedent of we don't care if they're your favourite character, they could die any moment, and I think that kind of made people go, this could be, it's almost like a Game of Thrones paradox. Like, it could have happened at any point. And I think one of the theories going into Endgame being that Tony Stark did die, and they actually got a Tony Stark from the past to help them out, or from a different... I mean, that was a different theory that was floating around. That being in my head made that moment... Because it's, again, that he could actually die here. And, like, watching it again today, it made me go, well, I could have seen him just pass away there. It would have been amazing for Nebula to come back with a dead Tony Stark. Like, imagine if they got back just after he died, and like Captain Marvel had turned up just after he died.
Yeah.
That would have been heartbreaking, I suppose. But I still like the way they went with it. Now, a lot of people did like I've been reading online. A lot of people have criticised, almost like the MacGuffin of Captain Marvel being there. Now,
well, I think to understand the chronology a bit, I think it is a bit confusing. But I think what happens is, so you have Captain Marvel, the post credits of Captain Marvel, where she comes and says Where's Fury happens prior to anything in this movie.
Yeah.
Then you have the Avengers go and save them. There was some people on Titan. We don't know how they're gonna get back.
Yeah.
They go off. Captain Marvel goes off to find them, brings them back, and that's where we sort of.
Well, I think if I'm remembering it correctly, Captain Marvel in the end credit scene when they were talking about how long that transceiver's been going off, I'm pretty sure they say 3 days. Now this is 22 days afterwards.
Yeah.
So I think the chronology makes sense, but you'd kind of have to see Captain Marvel's like post-credit sequence to know that.
For the way it presents in the movie is very much she just happened across them and then happens to take them back to the Earth
into the exact right place sort of thing.
Yeah. So I think the post-credit scene makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
As prequel. Okay. So moving on to the sort of rest of, not even the first act, the first half of an act, but it serves as the first act for a movie. There's really 4 acts in this movie.
Yeah.
But if you take this as the first act, we go all the way up to where Thanos is killed. And we've said spoilers enough time for people to know. Thanos is killed, and the Avengers are clueless as to what to do. And I think having Stark come back, be unwilling to help, them just go off, get on with it, and just be like, well, we took him down, we did what we wanted, but there's nothing else to do. We defeated him.
You see the guilt in all of that. Like, all of them at the end of it, they suddenly go, this was it. Like,
this was our chance, and there's no other chance.
It was Thor. It's the way that Thor said, "I went for the head." It was almost like in disbelief that he'd just done that.
Yeah,
and I think that's why he was really hit by it. Like, I mean, you see in the scenes before that anyway that he was really hit by it. But I think that's why even after he managed to do the thing he says out to do, which was kill Thanos,
because he didn't get what he wanted. He didn't succeed in bringing everyone back.
It still didn't help, and he kind of had nothing.
I'm just going to use this moment to call out the fact that I was correct. That's what you said. They're not going to kill him.
Yeah, no, I said the worst thing to happen would be for Thanos to die in the first 10 minutes and for a different bad guy to come in. Now, I still think it wasn't. I still think you can't class it as a different bad guy.
I am going to counter your argument by one point of just... It's a different bad guy in the principle of... It's not the same threat anymore. It's not the threat of, we need to get something off you to reverse something. It's the threat of, You know you've done it. All
Yeah.
you have to do is stop us
That's,
doing what we want
yeah,
to do.
and I suppose it's kind of like... Because at the end of the day, at the end of Infinity War, Thanos was broken. Like, he couldn't have defeated the Avengers, I don't think, with the fact that it almost killed him.
No, see, I don't think... I think at the end of Infinity War he could. When he destroyed the stones was when he became the fully broken.
Yeah. Which was... I actually felt sympathy for him.
No, he just killed half the world and then decided, was like, oh, I want to make sure they don't undo it. Okay, we're just going to do this.
Yeah, I know, but then after that, it's kind of like, well, he can't do anything there.
Lunatic.
But what I'm saying is...
What is wrong with
you?
No,
but what I'm saying is, Thanos in that moment, he was useless. You could have just left him there.
He was
happy.
happy.
But you could have just left him there and then still undone it. It wouldn't have made any difference.
Yeah, it would.
No.
Thor felt better about himself for 30
No,
seconds.
we didn't.
He did.
He
for
felt
a bit.
worse because of it.
He did for half a second, didn't he?
As he says to his mother.
Anyway, so then we have what I think was something that everyone suspected from Black Widow's hair, but
5 years.
But 5 whole years.
Like, we said a year.
Straight up.
Yeah.
10 minutes, more than 10 minutes, but so early into the movie, and they're just like, oh yeah, this is it. 5 years later, this is life.
They can't do anything for 5 years.
Yes, there was, and it puts the perspective, it puts you in perspective for Tony, and you realise how much he was the only one, really, who managed to move on and was content in his life. And yes, he felt bad, but he had everyone he loved, he was happy, he just wanted to keep it the way things were. And to compare it to other people, they hadn't moved on for 5 years. And it's like the way people deal with grief. Some people will move on, some people just don't.
That's what I really like about this film, is the fact they show the different ways of dealing with grief. A lot of people have given a lot of hate towards some of the characters for the way they dealt with the grief.
Thor.
Well, Thor being one, Bruce Banner and stuff. And now I had issues with bits and pieces, but it wasn't because of the way that they dealt with it. That was totally believable. The way that Thor dealt with it was totally believable. The way that Bruce Banner, once it was explained to me, was kind of believable. And I think they nailed that. Like, Cap was always going to be the person who tried to help people move on, because that's always Cap what he's doing. And that was always going to drive himself into the work.
Really beautiful in that scene with Cap, and I think it's Cap telling people to move on, knowing full well in his head he hasn't moved on and he will never move on, and he's trying. It's like he's going there not to help anyone else, but to say these things to convince himself.
Yeah. You
have to move on, and I don't think for him, most of the people he cared about was gone. Maybe Bucky was his standing point, but with Peggy, I think is still the person he comes back to, and I think there's a slight bit of joy, not joy, but happiness in Cap. And you see it when he's talking about Widow, like, look on the bright side of. They know how I feel now. This is how I felt. I lost the things. Well, that's why I
think
me.
That's why I think Cap's the person, as he says, he had to do it. He's had to do it before.
Yes.
And I think that's why he's almost the person to do that for these people. But, I don't know. I think happiness is the wrong word. I think it's
not happiness, but I think
empathy, sympathy.
I feel it's beyond that in terms of just the way that scene goes. It's like he's almost he while willing to listen, he's not stubborn like Stark is, but he has. I think in terms of the 5 years thing, he has moved on. I don't think he's that hung up on.
He's lost Bucky before, sort of thing.
Yeah, I don't think he's hung up on that loss. I think in that entire bit where he's talking about loss, he's still just talking about Peggy. It comes full circle at the end, and that's why I don't think the 50% matter to him. I think he is just like, this is how I feel.
Yeah. Now
everyone knows how I feel, and I can talk to people.
Yeah. Okay, so on to the next little bit. So obviously Nat's...
Ant-Man.
Well, Nat's telling people to do what, and that explains the Carol Danvers not being there a lot.
Yes, I'm happy with the way Captain Marvel was in this movie. I think showing it up at the start, she was like, I'm just going to kill him, because I don't think she's faced a challenge yet, and I don't think she would have been able to kill Thanos straight up, and I'm glad she doesn't ever deliver a final blow to him.
I did like
the fear of backlash.
Yeah.
But the way they just sent her off and like she's like, yeah, you have all of these guys are all helping Earth. There are thousands of planets and they do not have anyone. And I am going to help them.
And at the end of the day, Captain Marvel, she wasn't introduced to be the big, I'm going to save the planet. When Endgame comes around, she was introduced to be another character to go off. I think if they'd have made her too overpowered in this movie and literally just slap Thanos to the ground as we kind of thought, it'd give her character nowhere to go.
Yes, I'm still of the mind. I don't think she's quite as powerful as people. They keep saying, Feige keeps saying, and everyone behind it is going, she is the most powerful character in the Marvel Universe. I would put it like, in the way Thanos is physically, or Hulk was before him, physically the strongest. Just I believe she is stronger than anyone else. If she had a fight, she would be stronger. But
she'd be outsmarted by loads of people.
Or not even just outsmarted. I don't think, like, if she fires a blast at someone, I don't think it's just, like, disintegration sort of thing.
Yeah, it's not Dalek.
The way she's described is as if she is completely undefeatable and no one could pose a threat to her. I think she could beat him she could beat anyone in an arm wrestle.
Yeah.
But if it came to a fight with her and Iron Man, I would say they're relatively, not evenly matched.
No.
But it's not like a slam down.
Yeah.
That keeps being described.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get on to bits with Captain Marvel and Thanos and stuff anyway. So so that's what's happening. There's a few Easter eggs in there that I want to pick out later.
I absolutely love her new look.
Yeah, same.
I think it is the hair, the suit is different. I don't know if they changed it in post. I assume so, but it's
more gold.
It's more gold. The colours are deeper, and it's absolutely perfect to me. I think that is the way Captain Marvel will stay for quite a while.
I think it's a better look, and it's more like the hair. I much prefer. It's more comic accurate at the end of the day, and I think it suits her.
I think it is. I love that. There's a few spoilers that I love that they managed to keep under wraps. That is one of them. But the fact that because in terms of the chronology of her filming, she filmed all of this before any of Captain Marvel, before the Captain Marvel script was finished. But it means that she had short hair for quite a while, and just no one knew.
No one just put two and two together, I suppose.
Well, but I don't think there's no pic. I've searched. I searched this because I was really curious. I searched Brie Larson's short hair.
It's a wig.
But I don't think the short hair is a wig, because if you look in Avengers Endgame, the first scene, she has really long hair, longer than in Captain Marvel.
Well, yeah, because it's been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in the second half of Endgame, she has short hair. And then in Captain Marvel, she has short hair when she does an Endgame. So I think it is her hair. No, I think she just grew it out because there was like a year between filming these movies.
Yeah.
I think her hair literally follows that chronology of it's longer, then it's shorter, then it's longer end. It could be a wig, but it would make me really happy.
Captain America's was a wig.
Yeah. But it would just make me really happy if it wasn't a wig.
Anyway. No one noticed. Yeah. Right. So
we go to Time Heist. Scott Lang appears. He's a bit of a con around.
Saviour Rat. Yes.
Rat, the saviour of the day. I think it's so cool that they've got this thing outside San Francisco, and he finds his name, and he's looking for his daughter, and he's like, oh, it's me. What? Wait, where is she? I mean, he just runs.
Yeah. That's a nice moment.
It's stupid that he leaves all his stuff behind, but he just runs and he's like, she might be here. She might be here. I think it is perfect that he doesn't ever look. I know he does look for them, but he doesn't ever look for Van Dynes. That he doesn't care. Not that he doesn't care, but
I think he knows that the reason why he wasn't there is because they were gone.
But I think beyond that, it's the person that matters to him, and I think this is good. The person that matters to him most is his daughter.
He always was, yeah.
And if you'd have made it him look for them first, because you'd have had to make him look for them first to have that same moment with him running, it would have been like, oh, he cares about his girlfriend, but come on, she's dead. You know that. You can figure that out.
Yeah.
But I think it was just nice where his daughter, he runs. He doesn't care whether them maybe not gone and they just had to leave him and they couldn't get him out or whatever.
Yeah.
He was just done. So he comes and he's got this theory of time travel.
Yeah, so what I quite like about Scott Lang in this is you have that. So he is in moments comedic effect, but he's almost the audience in that moment. Like that time travel thing is how we were when we realised the quantum realm was a thing. And we went, time travel. And he was sitting there just having these crazy ideas going, no, it's crazy. It's a stupid idea. It's not going to ever happen. Mm-hmm. Kind of like we were.
Yes.
And I like that because I think throughout the entire movie, like a little bit later on when they're talking about Infinity Stones, he's like, I have no idea what you guys are talking about, which is right. He wouldn't. Like no one would have had the time to sit there and explain it to him, because he wouldn't understand. But like I like the idea that Nat and Cap are like up for anything at this point.
Yes.
So that moment when he turns up at the Avengers camp, you see Cap and Black Widow go, wait, that means... and you can almost see the hope of, are they coming back? Is everyone back?
Yeah.
And obviously when they're then talking about Quantum Realm, it's that hope of, we could do this. This could be a thing. Like, this is our last hope.
Yeah, I think the best bit that sort of sums up how much has changed and how much has gone, but they're still hanging on, was when Black Widow goes to see Hawkeye and is like, I'm sorry, I couldn't have done it sooner. Like,
Yeah.
I could not. There is nothing else. This is it. This is literally the last shot we think we will have. This is a shot in the dark at best.
Yeah.
And Tony Stark pretty much says that to them, and he shuts them down and goes. And I think knowing he has a family justifies that. I think.
Yeah. I don't blame Tony for that at all.
No, I think I sort of it the way this movie deals with the characters is exactly how they should. And they've taken 10 years to earn it, but they've earned it. And I don't think there's a couple of mishandlements, but I think by and large, the way they handle all the characters is ideal, and it works super well.
I think what's quite nice is that you have those two opposites, like Cap and Tony have always been kind of against each other in the way they think of things, but you all of a sudden, even though everything's gone in a way right for Tony, he all of a sudden is this pessimist. Like he's a realist, where he sits there and he goes, no, I've got what I want, I'm not risking that. And in a way he almost goes, it's too far out there, the idea is it's too much work, it's too much of a risk. It's not that he's sitting there saying it's not possible, it's just there's too much to it.
And I think it's very nice, but it's sort of Pepper at the end of the day who goes, I've tried to stop you at every point before. This is who you are. Don't you chose your family because there was nothing else. There is something else. I know you're gonna go there.
Yeah.
Stop faffing about.
Stop faffing about
Just
and do it.
get out and go there because you owe this.
Yeah, and I like that entire sequence, to be honest. I like seeing Tony being that family man on a farm like he said he would at the end of Age of Ultron. And it's quite nice, and like that moment where he figures it out, knowing what was going to happen later, and the moments with Morgan sort of like afterwards, it made me go, oh no, that's bad. That's like, this is the moment where it all happened, really. Like, it was a eureka moment, which I love the little exchange between the two of them, really nice. Like, and then them saying goodnight. Like, that's the last time his daughter sees him.
Yes.
And that hit me then. I went,
yeah,
oh gosh. Right. And obviously, I think it was nice that Pepper was the person who sent him off.
Yeah. So let's skip ahead a bit. So they get Hulk. It doesn't work. Then Stark shows up.
Yeah.
They assemble the Avengers, and then you start seeing them make this plan.
Well, you start seeing them assembling them first.
No, yeah, but they assemble them, and then you get to the plan. And I thought it was really nice that they talked through. They thought about, well, where can we get all the... It was a fun bit of...
It was like it would be in real life at the end of the day.
And I love that my best bit about this was something that you don't get from the audience, but you get... Because we've seen all of these, but you get from them not understanding, is that Doctor Strange... Oh, he's in New York in 2012. Of course he would be. Why wouldn't he be? But he doesn't exist yet as Doctor Strange, but they don't know that. They just... Yeah. Of course... Well... He's old. He's older than 5 years old. He should be old.
So he should be. Because obviously they were just introduced to him. It's been a while since like Doctor Strange came out in real life, but like for them
it's,
they met him like a day before they.
And I think it's so great that like that could have been the thing in itself of like, where's the time stone? He's not here. This building is not empty. But I know what they did made perfect sense. But I just the things that could have gone wrong by the fact they just assumed he was gonna be there.
Yeah. But I like that, and I think that's what I like about all the Avengers movies and all the movies. The Marvel Universe does it really well. These guys are all superheroes. My favourite moments from all of the movies are the normal moments. Age of Ultron, it's when they're all having bets about who could lift up Thor's hammer.
Yes.
This movie, I love that little sequence where they go, let's try and figure out where we're going. Because it's also human for superhumans. Like, it's a really nice sort of moment. So yeah, I really like that. I like how they go, they have that, again, eureka moment where, guys, at one point all 3 stones are in New York at the same time. And it's like, oh yeah. And they have that moment, I like that.
So, let's go through the different places they go.
Yeah.
And
then come back
and then we'll come back to when they succeed. So, we I don't know what order we go to, but we'll start with Thor because it sort of wraps itself up quite nicely.
Yeah.
I loved that. Obviously, they went to Thor: The Dark World. It's the only place to get it from. Yeah. Well, I suppose you could have gone to the Collector, but I love that they went to Thor: The Dark World, which is like, I don't even think it's that bad, but it's hailed as the worst MCU movie, and they went there and they made me like it more by putting this scene in.
Because it means now when you go rewatch them, you'll go, yes, that's they're there sort of thing.
Thor's mum has had this conversation with her son. She knows he is going to be okay at the end of all this, and I think that's the beautiful thing of like, they're in Thor: The Dark World. They think they're at the end. Thor's mum doesn't know that Thor will survive this fight, sort of thing. Asgard could fall tomorrow, and she gets that moment to go, he's a bit messed up, but he's okay, and he's alive.
I've just had a bit of a oh my gosh moment.
What?
Thor: Dark World.
Yeah.
Loki.
Yeah.
Pretends to be Captain America at one point.
Yeah.
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 The only other time he does that is when he's around Captain America.
Yeah.
When Cap at the end of the movie goes back and gives all the things back, do you reckon Loki saw him and that's why he was able to imitate him again?
No.
No?
Before this movie, Loki had never done it.
Yeah, I know. But
he does it when Odin, and Odin's...
he does it... Yeah, but he's seen Odin before.
Yeah, but he's seen Captain America before.
Yeah, but as in, like...
I love your logic, but Loki would just be like, why is that guy on Asgard? He doesn't belong here.
Oh, well. Anyway, moving on.
So that was... I love that. Yeah. Perfect. Natalie Portman, they've talked about... The writers have talked about how there was versions where... They literally said she's been in pretty much every draft because she is the only real place to get it from.
Yeah. Getting Natalie Portman to come back, though, I can imagine was quite difficult.
I don't even think... Because people are talking about it... I'll have to rewatch it, but people talk about it like those are reused scenes.
No.
But I don't think they are. I think they got...
I think one of them is...
I'm not saying neither... I'm pretty sure they must have got her to film back at least a bit. And she came... The reason I would say that on top is she came to the premiere. Yeah, that's the thing.
My girlfriend noticed her at the premiere and I went, yeah, but I'm guessing that's just because she's involved in Marvel rather than actually being in the movie.
Because if the fact that she came to the premiere makes me think she's not coming back, but she was at least like she was owed one more movie. So her contract was for 3 films and she never had that, and she said she didn't want to come back. And I guess for Thor Ragnarok they were just like, and all the other movies they were just like, we'll just not make her because there's no point making her come back for one appearance. But they were like, come here, and
we'll pay you a lot.
We'll pay you some money. And I guess she was just like, yeah, go on, man.
Yeah,
because she's not got any other movie, has she?
No, but I like it. I think the fact that he got Mjolnir, I think that was a big moment for Thor, because obviously the conversation with his mom, but as he says, the fact he's still worthy.
And it proves one thing, which is that Stormbreaker has no reliance on worthiness.
No, it doesn't.
So Stormbreaker can be used technically by anyone, which is interesting because he draws it to him. But Captain America draws it to him too.
But I think he can only make it summon the Bifrost, and I think he can only make the lightning come through.
I think there's powers that Thor has, but in terms of Mjolnir, it's nice to know that Mjolnir is a thing that decides its worth. My only disappointment is that Valkyrie doesn't get it because it's gone, because Captain America has to go and put it back.
Yeah.
Okay, next one.
Thor. Should we go Morag first?
Oh, I was gonna go. I'll do Morag last. I was gonna do Vormir.
Yeah, I
Hawkeye.
saw
and
it
Black
come
Widow.
as soon as they went. They're going to Vormir. I saw that coming.
But,
But-
my favourite thing about this is that realistically, everyone has sort of known that time travel was gonna be in this movie. It's been at least they're gonna go back and get the Infinity Stones from different points. Whatever the points were, people have known they were gonna go back.
But-
no one. I have not once at all seen a single theory of who was going to die on Vormir to get the Soul Stone. And that
Even we didn't think about
even
it.
we didn't think about it, despite the fact the only place to get the Soul Stone is off Thanos. Because before that, it was on Vormir. It's never been anywhere else, but at least we've seen. And there was no speculation of who might go and get it. And I think that was just a bit that was just like, wait.
Of
yes,
course.
Obviously, there is no alternative.
Yeah.
It was the only one that had no alternative and the only one that wasn't predicted.
Yeah.
And I thought it was great. I
thought the way they did it was great. I think that they couldn't have done, they had to fight it.
the perfect people to go were Hawkeye and Black Widow.
Yeah.
And I don't think I would have cared about anyone else going.
Yeah, because I think even if the only other relationships that I could see.
Well, they talked about putting Black Widow and Hulk there.
Yeah, I was going to say Black Widow and Bruce Banner or Cap and Iron Man, but they wouldn't have done Cap and Iron Man.
They're too important.
They wouldn't have done, because I think everyone, if they'd have done Hulk and Black Widow, everyone would have gone, but what about Hawkeye?
Well, I don't think that would have been true. I think everyone would have just been gone, okay. Because for all they've done that romance, it wasn't... Well, I guess they crafted Infinity War and Endgame together, so if they had put Hulk, it might have been something that came up more.
Yeah.
And they might have played it down because they knew it wasn't going to come into effect again, because she's dead. But it was nice to have Hawkeye, and I think of all the relationships forged in the MCU, the one between Hawkeye and Black Widow is one that is the realist.
Well, yeah, because at the end of the day, that was the one that everyone was... It was the first relationship, I suppose, that everyone was kind of going, oh, what's happening there from Avengers?
Yes, and everyone thought they were together, or going to be together, and then Hawkeye had a family. And I love that Hawkeye's youngest kid, is called Nathaniel.
Yeah.
After Natasha.
Me? Wait. Yeah.
Spoilers!
Yeah, it was...
Yes.
I think the first time watching it, and I felt the same about Infinity War with Gamora. The first time watching it upset me, but it didn't get to me. The second time watching it, as I've said, because you know these things are going to happen, because you're looking for certain cues and stuff.
Yeah.
You notice it more, and so you it feels like worse.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I didn't cry at it, but that got me the second time round.
It got me them saying we both know who it's going to be, and I knew was like they're both talking about themselves.
Yeah.
Don't do this, and then they thought, and then the only thing I would change about this scene is I wish Hawkeye had been jumping off it for longer. Because it's really quick. You see him jump, and then she comes out. I would have loved if it had just been him, and then in slow motion you just see her come out, and it's like.
Yeah,
what?
because I felt two things for quite a while. I thought it should have been Hawkeye for a bit, because, again, it's that ending bit of, imagine Nat going back to his family. Like, I think it would have been too
Hawkeye.
much with Iron Man having it as well. I think both of them having it, you'd have lost one of them.
Hawkeye is the most underrated character.
You love him.
I love people with bow and arrows for a start.
Yeah.
And Hawkeye is just great. He is just a really good guy. And yeah, he goes off the rails in this one because his family died.
Yeah.
And I feel that makes him slightly questionable. But he's just a good guy. He just tries, man.
Yeah.
He's trying. He's only got a bow and arrow.
But then the second thing that I always felt, when they
weapon.
both jumped off, I was like, please don't both of you die, because that will be kind of useless.
Because No. They definitely both.
Could you imagine them both landing at the bottom, dying, and then both waking up?
No, because it would have felt like a cop-out.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't fit the rules of the stones. Because otherwise Thanos should have killed himself and then woken up. That would have been that rule.
To New York, then.
New York. Love going back to New York. It's the quintessential MCU movie that everyone knows.
And you get that moment at the start of it when you see them sort of like going around it. And that was quite cool.
I loved the ancient one being there. We talked about Doctor Strange not being there. I love the fact that it was the ancient one, and she was
made
like,
sense.
she sees the future. She knows all this stuff, and she's like, wait, he just gave it to you? Oh, here you go.
Yeah, I liked that moment. I think it was you who said it to me. It wouldn't have worked with any other character other than Hulk or other than Banner, because it had to be someone with the science brain being there. And so they were sitting there talking about it, and I liked how they explained the time travel, because finally we went, okay, so that's how it works in this universe.
Yes, I feel it could have worked with other people. It was nice that it was Banner, because Banner is the one who arrives. Banner has the thing with Doctor Strange. Banner is the only one who knows anything about Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Really.
Other than Stark.
Other than Stark.
But then he needed to be elsewhere.
But yeah. And I also loved the sort of consolidation of the point is that, yes, he is Dr. Hulk, but it is Banner is the person.
Yeah.
Because when you I can't think what it's called when they come out of themselves. It is Banner. You see, it's not
astral
just
projection.
The astral people.
Yeah.
It's not Dr. Hulk. You see,
it's not Hulk coming
Banner.
back. It's
Banner is the person. Hulk is like he said. Hulk is the cure. Hulk is the extra bit.
Yeah.
And I just thought to clarify it for people, because it has gotten quite complicated with who's the real.
Yeah,
one.
like, is it Hulk who's really smart, or is it Banner who's now really strong?
But it's Banner who is in
the body.
Hulk's body.
Yeah.
Which is nice. I also love the moment with the shirt. I think it's gratuitous.
I think it's quite... Yeah,
it was clever.
Yeah, I quite like that.
Because it's just... It is.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So...
Moving on.
One point I will mention that will be brought up later is... Oh, no. Two more things. I'll bring that up later. Love Cap on Cap.
Yeah.
That was great. I think if anything, it pushed too far into the... Yeah, I get it when he says I could do this all day.
I think they missed a trick there, because
Why?
I think that line probably should have been later on.
I think, and I'm on your thinking, if they wanted to use it there as a joke, they had to put it in later as a... When
like,
Cap
kicking his ass.
faces... No, I think there's the most beautiful shot in this movie, I think, is when you see Cap with his shield facing off against the horde.
I saw that. That was beautiful.
That
and
is my
Dawn
favourite shot.
breaking through.
Yeah.
That's Helm's Deep, that is.
I think that should have been a moment where he just looks up before he hears Sam, before he's any of that, he just goes, I could do this all day. And then you hear on your left and he's just like, what? But that's my problem. That line has been so poignant and so important, and it just got thrown away in this movie. And then they did the same thing with Bucky, where it was like, Bucky's alive, and I get why he did it, because it's true, but if you're gonna dig into these things, you have to then
dig yourself out of them.
Yeah, it can't just be remember when we kept writing this line in as if it was serious? No, it was just a joke for later. Because it's the same writer, so it's not like they've riffed off someone else's work. They've just sort of like crapped all over their own work and gone, yeah, he does love Bucky. Ha! Whereas I think he needed a moment with Bucky, because he didn't have a moment with Bucky at the end either.
Yeah, but
the fight.
Cap on Cap was brilliant. The way that he got out of the fight was good. I like the fact that he used the
Yes,
staff.
that was great.
That was quite cool. I like...
Again, disappointing moment, but I wish there was a pause. And basically, I want posters of these, like, half-a-second things is when the shields both hit each other.
Yeah.
So there's a moment in Captain America Civil War when it's a moment from the trailers. It's where the Iron Man blasts the shield and it slows on that and you see it blast off.
Because that's the comic panel from Civil War.
And I wish that on that freeze where they hit each other, it had just been slightly longer, because it's so... Some of these moments are so quick and they're so beautiful. And they are comic book panels, they're just perfect images.
Yeah, and like going a little bit further beforehand, I mean, we'll go into Easter eggs later, but the walking into the elevator to get the thing, beautiful moment. Made us think twice, because we were like, oh my gosh, they're going to do the elevator scene.
Hydra.
Instead, they did Secret Empire.
My only
beautiful.
The only bit I find funny, the more I think about it, is so some things change the past, some things don't. But don't they now think Cap is
part of Hydra?
And doesn't... So then I thought out of that situation. So they now think that Cap is Loki. They thought Loki somehow knew that they were Hydra.
Yeah, that's what they'll do, because Cap will have said that he ran into Loki, sort of thing.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a really nice little moment, and obviously we'll get into
characters.
Easter eggs and stuff later. Onto Tony and the Tesseract side of things. So
I love that Ant-Man rips it out and he's like so scared to
well, yeah, I
kill
mean,
him.
the two things really. First of all, America's ass is brilliant.
Yes.
That's a really nice little comedy moment. I never expected comedy to come from Cap, and it did a lot of the time.
And he keeps swearing.
He does.
Language.
But yes, so that was really nice. I liked the little riff with. It gave Tom Hiddleston things to do. Like the reason why they shut him up is because of the fact that he just kept taking the piss out of Cap. Which is what he does in Thor: The Dark World, which is quite nice. But yes, getting the Tesseract. There's two things about this. I liked how they used Ant-Man for it, because I thought they were going to have Ant-Man in the case. Yeah. And then burst out the case to grab the Tesseract and run.
Yeah.
But the fact that they use it to give
him a cardiac arrest.
basically a heart attack. That's quite nice. I liked the Thor...
I love that
reviving him.
I love that they got Robert Redford out of retirement for the millionth time, but still, they got out of retirement to come and do 30 seconds. Here, you mentioned Thor. This is where things get complicated with the time travel, and I feel bad for actors. But that Thor is not the Avengers Thor.
No, because his eyebrows aren't.
No, not looking at it. Just the performance of Thor going, I had no idea that would work, is such a Thor Ragnarok thing to say.
It's a very different character.
And if you look at Thor and the Avengers and Thor: The Dark World, he's very stoic and he doesn't make jokes deliberately. He just doesn't understand things.
Yeah.
All the humour from Thor used to just come from the fact that he's from Asgard and he doesn't get Earth
very
things.
catfish out of water thing.
Yeah. Whereas this was clearly him making a joke and being funny, and it's just...
It's a different Thor.
They lost that. There's a couple of moments through the time travelling with each other. Nebula nailed it every time, but with a couple of the Avengers, it's like, it's not you though, is it?
Yeah, that's the thing. I the one thing I didn't like was the Hulk stairs bit. Like, I get why he went downstairs, made sense, but surely Hulk would just jump out the window, because that's what he does in other things. I don't think he would have walked all the way downstairs and then gone down.
He's calmed down a bit.
Yeah, but he didn't have to see. He was sulking like a child.
I know.
That was very Thor Ragnarok. Hulk, should say.
Yeah, it's a few of the characters do some odd things, but I did like the fact that Tony Stark didn't know Hulk was so sulking because he didn't see him go down the stairs.
Well, because I think at the same
because if you think about in a real timeline,
they'd have
all left the building and then seen Hulk, and he just never knew, and he was like, I'll just go in this door, no one will come out. And then he was like, and then it all got up. And then they have to go back to the 70s.
Well, first of all...
What?
Then Loki gets the Tesseract.
I was going to bring this up later, but yes, Loki gets the Tesseract.
Let's look at the Tesseract, which is an interesting... Okay, where are they going with that point? Next Bond. Then they go to the 70s.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
I think it was at this moment that you kind of went, this is their last movie. Because you got both Cap seeing Peggy for the first time since, and then Iron Man getting that I get to thank my dad.
I don't necessarily think it meant it had to be the last movie. I just think it was a nice moment, not just in where they went, but in you see how close Cap and Tony, how intertwined their lives have been.
Yeah.
And even in the 70s, his dad is working with his love. And no, just like Peggy Carter and Howard Stark, and then it's just really nice to know that these characters were destined for this.
Yeah, and obviously
that way
with Hank Pym being there as well.
Yes. And it was just...
I like the classic Ant-Man.
It was quite nice. That helmet was a nice little nod. But yeah, I liked the 70s. I thought it wasn't an action-packed thing. It was just a nice...
It was a character-building, story-build.
Yeah, I just thought it was pretty... Also, Peggy needs to get some spatial awareness because he was on the other side of the glass. And I don't know why she doesn't go...
as a director of a spy agency, you'd kind of go, be aware of your surroundings.
It's just that they were 2 feet apart. And she looks at paper here, and he is here.
And it's not like she's looking away from him either. She's like looking here. It's like me not seeing you.
Yes. None of you can see what this is, but we're demonstrating how stupid Peggy Carter is.
But...
So...
They get back. Well, no.
No, we've got one more, which is Morag, which is where it brings it all together. First of all, that Star-Lord scene was absolutely brilliant.
Yes, it was.
And then they cut the music, and you realise what was happening
Well, yeah, because
to the world
be.
during that time. And I love Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt's Star-Lord is one of my absolute favourites. I just think he's so just like, he's going back to just a guy. He's just a funny little guy, and he's just going about, and you know what he's doing. He's trying to steal the most powerful thing in the universe, and he's just literally singing a song.
Yeah, and I like Rhodey where he just goes, so he's an idiot.
So he's an idiot, and God, because Rhodey's never met him, and all these characters still haven't met.
No, this is the thing. Like, even at the end of this movie, like,
lots of them haven't met.
They haven't met properly. Anyway.
Okay, so then you have again something that was not predicted by anyone. 2014 Thanos.
Yeah.
We see him in his armor and all the marketing, and we're like, oh, he gets his armor back. Not time travel.
Thanos.
How? Why are we all so stupid? The writing was on the wall. When you think about these things, as going,
well, of course.
Well, obviously, it's just time travel.
Now,
but go on.
Yeah, it's just that now the one thing that I didn't then see that isn't as stupid is more of a, is the intertwining Nebula memory. It's the fact it's a network, which is really interesting. It shows how cyborg she is.
Yeah, I just thought it was a very clever bit of writing to go, well, how do we link them together? Well, they're the same person. Well, they're both robots, so technically she hasn't updated herself or anything, so aren't they just on the same thing? Yeah. And then she's like, oh my god, I can feel my other one's thoughts, and because they're all robot parts, they're not supposed to meet another one of it, and it was nice.
Yeah, and it's really good, and it's a great way of sort of going Thanos seeing what happens. Now that moment where Thanos sees not only what happens in terms of him saying like I'm inevitable and the snap and stuff like that makes me go, like, him seeing that was brilliant because he sort of went, oh, this actually happens. I get it, and it gives Gamora that moment of, oh crap, he's actually going to do it. Like, what's the point in fighting in a way?
Yeah.
And then you get him watching his own death. That was really interesting to me because he didn't, like, you can tell Ebony Moore almost went, oh my gosh, what are they doing? How can they kill you?
Thanos was very much, I did what I wanted to do.
Yeah, I don't care. You
killed me, but I won. So
yeah,
it was nice.
And that was really nice. It showed his motives at the end of the day.
Yeah,
he's not doing it for power. He's doing it because he thinks he's right.
Only disappointing thing with Thanos this movie was to be fair, this was Infinity War was Thanos' movie. This was the Avengers movie.
Yeah. And
it's fine. It was just disappointing that Thanos didn't get the he's not the same character he was. There's no depth to him.
Yeah.
Not that, but he basically just becomes another MCU villain of I'm going to do this bad thing.
He's very thug-like.
Very
thug-like. He's just a big brute at this point. I think
because he's 2014 and he didn't have a development. I think you're wrong.
No.
I think it's just time. In the movie, there was no time to put any more Thanos in. I think it's the same character. They just didn't have the time, which is why I'm forgiving of it, because you see that in Infinity War.
If you treat them as the same, this is what I was saying at the start. If you treat them as the same character, it's fine sort of thing, and that's why I don't think I've had the issue with it. Whereas you're kind of seeing it as going, no, he's a different person.
Yeah.
And so this new Thanos needs almost more of an instruction.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
So one of my favourite moments.
Yeah.
It was just me when I turned. So they all arrived back, and I just turned to you and just went, "It's Nebula."
Yeah. So we're in a midnight screening, and I just get this tap on my shoulder, go, "Nebula!"
And then you're like,
"Oh my gosh!" Like Nebula's still there because obviously Nebula's been captured.
I'm an idiot. And the fact, it's very obvious on the second and third screening, when I've watched it, the second and third, what is happening. It's very clear. There is no question.
Only because you know what's going to happen.
An absolute mug. No, because she goes to her with a knife, takes the thing off, and then walks to Thanos, and then goes, "Hi Thanos, how do I look?"
I thought she was just trying to impress him at that point.
Oh, well, I'm an idiot anyway.
But,
so...
If you guys all saw that coming, you're smarter than us.
Please let me know, because I want to know if I'm actually an idiot. Because I really thought I was clever, and then I saw it a second, and I was like, oh... And there's another... it's so obvious. It's so painfully obvious.
But it was, like, because I hadn't noticed it.
It was cool.
It was the fact that... Now, this is where I sort of put my film critic head on. And I go, it's the cinematography that really gets me in this. It's the fact that they don't give it like they purposely went, we're not going to give you any time until
Like,
it actually happens.
If you'd have rewritten this, if you'd have changed the ending of this movie, you could cut it there and have Nebula be the old Nebula. You wouldn't know
No.
that it was a different Nebula. They don't lean into it. They don't.
They
Play
don't
it,
sort of
just,
like nudge you and go, hey, wink,
Yes.
wink, nudge, nudge, this is a different person.
They make you look. There's so much that is explained in this movie. It's
Yeah.
nice for it's not even, you don't have to be a Marvel fan. You don't have to be anyone. It's just nice that there is a moment for people really watching this movie to go, did you see that?
Yeah.
Did you?
And then, of course, they go, this is what you should have seen.
Yeah.
Here's what we made earlier. Yeah, so, like, that was a really interesting... So, them all coming back was cool. They are... It was when Rhodey goes, did we actually do it? Have we actually just pulled this off?
Mhm.
And then you just get Clint falling to the floor.
So sad.
Like, that moment, everyone saw went, oh, they didn't pull it off. As much as they thought they did.
So... My biggest gripe, probably my biggest gripe with the movie, is Black Widow is so... It works perfectly in terms of movie plotting, but it's just really sad that Tony Stark gets this massive funeral, and it's not like a Tony Stark and Black Widow funeral, it's just a Tony Stark funeral.
Yeah.
You could have just had a thing next to his thing that was for Black Widow, and I'm like, Jesus, come on. You don't...
Yeah.
She deserves it too.
But then I suppose that moment when they're all around the lake straight after that is kind of like that
I
moment
know,
anyway.
but it was no one... Everyone paid their respect to Tony Stark, but you couldn't
everyone
have done
wasn't
it without Black Widow.
Yeah.
And it would have just been nice to have... You've got Tony Stark's wreath in the thing. I don't know what it would have been for Black Widow. Even if it was just her little hourglass badge on a thing. If someone had just laid that down next to it, and it had just been like, this is a funeral for the fallen heroes, not just Tony Stark because Robert Downey Jr. is rich. That is, it's so niggly, but it's just like a...
I get what you mean.
The more I think about it, the more it bugs me because
that's a big death.
she didn't know they were going to win. Tony Stark knew if he did this, they win.
Yeah.
He knew that was the final moment. Black Widow doesn't know if they won.
Yeah.
She will never know. Well, and I know they go...
Never know.
I know that Hawkeye's like, oh, she'll know or whatever. But it's just like, she didn't know. She risked it. Not even knowing if it was... See, she knew, I have to do this for us to stand a chance. And it's worth it.
Yeah, it was a big death. Like, that was like...
I think her death...
It's funny, because I remember you saying... Oh, who was it to? I remember you saying that they won't kill off Black Widow because... Well, no, actually, no. When we were talking about the deaths, you turned around and said, no, they'll kill off Black Widow because of the fact that they've not killed off a female in the MCU yet.
No, I said that because I said they haven't been able to. And the reason I thought that...
But do you think this was the right moment to?
I will come on to this later, because there's one thing about Vormir which is very interesting. But in terms of where they go, so they get back, they succeed. Hulk snaps. I love that it was Hulk with a glove. I love that the glove gets bigger. And then Thanos arrives. And boy, does he arrive.
Just quickly, I like the way that they showed that the snap worked.
Yes, the call and the birds.
The birds, nice. Yeah, I didn't even... You know, that's something that I
or
don't
butterflies.
think...
People keep saying butterflies.
No, I think it's birds, because you can hear them.
Yeah.
One of the things I never even thought about is what happened when he snapped, because he didn't just snap away all intelligent life, he just snapped all life. Like, the reason why the world's not working properly is because it's had 5 years where half the amount of animals are on the planet.
But not... I like... Well, to reverse... I like that it was okay. And the only real problems with the world, at least what we saw...
It's underpopulated.
People couldn't move on. Like, you talk about Cap and he's going, there were whales in the Hudson. The world is thriving, but people can't move on. And that was a nice...
and I suppose that's the reason, that's the point in Thanos' plan, is the fact that the world works better, but people
he was
can't.
100% correct.
Yeah.
Even though he is fundamentally wrong, his theory,
that's the thing,
in this movie at least, worked.
Thanos arrives and all hell breaks loose on
yes.
the Avengers compound.
Sorry, Ant-Man is dead. Ant-Man is so dead, and I don't know how he's alive. Hawkeye is so dead. Rocket is so fucking dead. They are all so dead. They have no business being alive. I honestly thought in that moment it blew up. I was like...
They've just killed them all.
Not all of... I wasn't like they killed them all, but I was like... They have actually... Like, at least... Because Ant-Man you see explode. I was like, they just killed Ant-Man. Did they actually just kill Ant-Man?
I could have seen them actually do it.
I wish they had.
Yeah?
It would have been nice to have someone die at the end. No one dies at the end apart from Tony Stark.
Spoilers.
Shut up.
Yeah,
But
no,
it's a shame that in the final battle, the only people that die are the Wakandans and the cannon fodder. And it becomes very, like, Star Wars-y, Clone Wars battles where all the main characters are fine.
the clones, the people who don't actually matter.
But there's just, yeah.
The people without
always,
face.
Yeah, it's always that. And I'm just like, if
Okay.
you could have had, like a roadie just die or something like that. I get why they didn't. They were running out of characters, and you didn't want to kill someone you just brought back.
Yeah, I
But
think
it would have
they'd have missed a step killing Ant-Man and I think the thing is, right, you look at, and this is where I suppose you look at the two deaths that do happen, Nat and Tony. These characters mean something to people, even if they don't mean as much as other characters. They still mean something. If you'd have just blown up Ant-Man and Hawkeye and Rocket,
But I think that would have made it like this is real. That would have given it that little bit of a... Because the problem with the Black Widow and Tony deaths are, going into this, we all knew at least Tony and or Cap, one of them was going to die and someone else was probably going to die too.
yeah,
It would have been nice to just decimate like a few of them in just a moment. And
in those
gone.
2 moments where he bombs the hell out of the compound.
Yeah, and it's just like, that's it.
Yeah.
Even if someone had died during the battle, it would have been nice to have some more gravity to it.
Anyway, so he blows the hell out of the Avengers compound.
And we see all of them buried, and that's irrelevant because they just get themselves out of it.
Quick question though.
Go on.
Do you think it was right that Hulk was the person who did it rather than Thor?
Yeah, because Thor is... I think it's with the Infinity Gauntlet, as you see in Guardians of the Galaxy, and they say no human should be able to wield this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily think about human. I think it's about raw physical strength.
Yeah.
How physically strong are you?
Yeah.
And like, just how much can you lift? And I think for all that Thanos is a Titan, I think he is like the Hulk of Titans. I think he has reached
Peak physical
strength.
As you said in the last one, is he goes to the gym.
Yeah, I don't think all the people on Titan are strong like Thanos. I think he is 1 in a million, or 1 in a billion, or whatever.
Well, I think what's really interesting is the way that they try to explain it with science. Mm-hmm. Like he said, most of the radiation that's coming off that is gamma,
and that was nice
because that
it made it go. Well, we know no one should really be able to do it and live. So
this is a kind of a way of getting
gamma,
out.
But it also tied back nicely to the Avengers, which I remembered later that's why they put Hulk on the team in the first place, because the Tesseract gives off gamma rays.
Yeah.
That's why they got it, and it's just a nice little...
I forgot about that, yeah.
Yeah, I remembered it way after and was like, oh yeah, that's...
Yeah.
Because that's the only reason Hulk is in the Avengers. They called him back because they need an expert on gamma from Bruce Banner.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
So he snaps, it comes back, they get blown to hell. We have a face-off then with Thanos, Cap, Tony, and Thor.
And we reach probably what is my favourite moment.
Yeah, you freaked out the second time too.
Yeah, because it's incredible. Right, so Iron Man, Thor, and Captain America face off against Thanos, and he does this little speech of, you failed, then you come back to me, I'm going to do something different this time. It's like he almost goes, I'm going to try and avoid the way that this happened by doing something completely different and remaking the entire universe. Now that's a really cool little concept.
Which for a brief bit, it became clear as soon as everyone else became through that wasn't what's going to happen.
No.
But I really thought, because Feige has kept saying the post-Endgame landscape is very different. I thought he was going to reboot the universe in like a so they would have cherry-picked the characters they wanted back.
House of M. Very
sort
House
of like a House of M. And so you could have had people just be dead still from a snap or whatever. And
what I liked...
It was nice that threat could be believed.
Yeah, and I think that could have probably been the only way they killed a lot of the secondary characters. Mm-hmm. Now, what I like about that, and now we'll get on to in Easter eggs, is I think that could one line there could pave the way to introducing some of the characters who might not have been there before. Through the multiverse sort of thing. Because obviously we have these different universes that Doctor Strange has seen. One of them, he could have done that, which is really interesting. Because obviously they've probably gotten to this point before in different times. Yeah. So maybe he did.
But the fight,
to fight. So obviously he kicks their ass at the start.
which annoys me a lot, because it just it's the biggest problem with the MCU is it's very selective of how powerful people are.
They change the power
Like
quite a
Tony sort of goes head to head with Thanos
on Titan, yeah.
on Titan with a nearly full Infinity Gauntlet, and then here Tony gets smacked the hell down. I'm like, he has a better suit.
I
than he
think
did
that was a
before.
lucky hit though. I think he
I know,
luckily
but
hit
it
him and it knocked
It
him
just
out.
it annoys me a bit. They just need to.
I like
Be
the Thor.
careful.
I like the new Thor with
No.
Stormbreaker. I like that little bit. I like the look of him at least.
Yeah.
And then obviously he almost gets exactly what he did to Thanos, and going through his chest with Stormbreaker.
Yes. And I love the bit where Thor gets Mjolnir. And then the fact that him and Thor are sort of...
Oh, you mean Captain America gets Mjolnir?
Who did I say?
Thor.
I love the fact that Captain America
Yeah.
gets Mjolnir,
Yeah.
and him and Thor then sort of trade weapons for the rest of the fight.
Yeah,
the shield.
So the progression of the worthy Captain America does sort of change. So obviously at the start, you see Mjolnir lift, you see it hit Thanos, you see it then go back, thinking, oh, it could go back to Captain America to Thor, and then it goes into Captain America's hands.
Yes.
That look with
Yes.
with Captain America with the shield and the and Mjolnir is beautiful. I have gone crazy both times watching it.
You have.
And that's because, boy, that's a good moment.
It's nice.
That at that point I went, I do not need to see any more Captain America. I have seen the thing I wanted to.
And I think
I'm
it was
happy.
just nice. This was the moment. It was never. It can't happen again.
No.
It was just nice that they let it happen.
Yeah, and
they
obviously-
were like, everyone wants this.
Yeah, which
It goes here.
It's
This
kind
is the moment.
It's kind of like the Rogue One Darth Vader scene. It's
Yes.
everyone wants this. It might not make sense,
But it was
entirely,
earned.
but yeah.
Also, it really has been earned, and I think I can't remember. I need to get better at sourcing things, but I've watched a thing or read a thing somewhere. They talk about Captain America's journey as a worthy person, and that in the Avengers he is worthy, but in Winter Soldier he learns that Stark's parents died by Bucky.
Yeah.
He doesn't tell them, which is why in Avengers he can shift it.
Yeah.
But that secret that he's keeping from Tony weighs down, and when he lifts it in Civil War, that is when he becomes worthy again. Because this is the first time he's seen Mjolnir since Civil War. So it's sort of it because Mjolnir didn't exist.
Yeah.
So it was sort of a nice. I love that theory.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that
It makes
works.
it makes sense that someone isn't worthy throughout their entire life.
Yes.
Like Thor wasn't always worthy, sort of thing. And yeah, I mean that was really nice. It was just a beautiful action sequence. I mean, completely CGI for a lot of it, but
It didn't bother.
it didn't bother me.
it
Again, the
bothers
CGI
me-
in this movie didn't bother me.
It bothers me a lot when they do lots of heavy CGI and you can't see anything and it's all just a mesh. And in this one, they've clearly know that, and they've worked very hard to make it so you can see people and make it so when they have a shot, you know what's happening. And I genuinely appreciated the fact that
Yeah.
it wasn't just
So
vomit.
yeah. Anyway, so
We get to the Thanos smacks him down. He
really
smashes his
does.
shield, and we come to the best moment, the best shot in my opinion,
Oh, beautiful
of the
shot.
whole movie, where you see Captain America in one tiny little thing, and then you see Thanos' army.
Yeah, because it takes a while to get there. So obviously Thanos sort of like summons his army because he says it's not personal, but I'm going to enjoy
Yes.
this, and I like that moment. Now all of a sudden you see his army come up, and then you get this long shot, wide angle, and you see his army coming up, and then all of a sudden you see in the bottom left hand corner, it means day's starting to break through the massive cloud, and he gets to almost a point on a rock where all of a sudden, and it is a beautiful scene.
And that is probably my favourite singular shot.
I want that big canvas in the middle of my living room. It's
Yes.
beautiful.
I love it. And the only thing I wish more of it was if you'd have had the three of them.
Yeah.
Not it may story wise, I get why it's only him. I'd prefer it like that. Just as an image, I would love that image. Or all the six of them stood there facing off. That would have been the perfect movie poster to me.
Yeah.
But anyway.
And then on your left.
on your left.
What
And
a callback.
So there is
Well
a
done,
lot
Russo
of
brothers.
there is a lot of gratuitous callbacks in this.
Yeah.
Which some people have taken more issue with than I have. I'm of the opinion that every line in this was actually important to people. So if you think about, people keep going, oh, well, on your left was that one thing that Falcon, that Cap said to Falcon about one time. But if you watch Captain America, it's not. This is
This
at
is
the
the
very
foundation
least,
of their friendship.
at very least days, if not longer, of him running past and Falcon just being like, I will never be that, which pays off at the end and is like that.
Yeah,
comes
it's
full circle.
it's kind of like I'm never gonna be that person,
Yes,
and
and
then
he is.
he finally gets to say it to him. But then doesn't he say it to him post end credit scene of Winter Soldier anyway, when Cap's waking up in the Cap says it back to him anyway. Cap wakes up after being dragged out the river by Bucky.
I don't know who
and goes,
says
on
it.
your left.
I just like, this is the moment where Falcon comes to Cap and he's like, I've got you. Because Falcon and Cap's friendship is sort of underrated in terms of, it's overshadowed by Bucky, but Falcon and Cap really do have each other's back, and I think it makes perfect sense for him to the one to pass the mantle to.
Yeah.
Anyway, so on your left,
the big fight.
this is the only moment I've cried at in every viewing I've seen. I cried the first time. Seeing everyone come through and just realising to be a bit gushy for a moment, the monumental achievement of what they have done with people I care about and characters that are as good as real, all coming through these giant glowy portals, was just perfection. And I think if there was a bit, this is the bit of a film that could not have been better. They couldn't have done it better.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's just perfect.
Yeah, I think this moment was the one that made me go, okay, like in Infinity War, Thor arriving, it was that goosebump, oh my gosh, this is so cool. This one, it's goosebump, I've been waiting for this. This is it. I got goosebumps 3 moments on in this, so like in this section on the midnight screening, I got three lots of goosebumps. Black Panther walking through, starting chanting. The cinema chanting along with it.
Oh, that was lovely.
That was incredible, and like that got me. That made me go, yes, this is what Marvel is. It's not just the film; it's the fact that you got all these fans in this packed out cinema, half of them with crappy seats, and they're chanting along to something completely made up that you've seen in 2 movies. That's it. You've seen it in 2 movies, and that's what Marvel means to these people. It was incredible, and then. Obviously, them also Peter Parker turning up, and them coming through. That was, thank God he's back, and then Rescue. That bit made me cry this time. The bit
that annoys me about Rescue is there's never a moment. Pepper never has a moment to go to before he dies. She never has a moment to go. I'm in a suit. You're in a suit. Let's do this. Yeah. There's never that moment.
But there's that moment they're fighting together.
They fight together, but you never see, like, I just wish there'd been like a side by side of in their helmets, and you can maybe they're looking at each other, and you're just like, they're just like, so you're back then, see you found the suit, and just anything like that, and they're just like, Pepper sent him away, and he comes back, and they did it, and for all intents and purposes, they've succeeded in what they wanted, and I just wish there'd been a moment of them both being like, we're good parents, sort of thing of like, we've done this, we're now going to save the world, and that's the only thing that's missing there.
Yeah, I think it would have been quite nice, because they do make that joke, like Tony makes that joke at the start when he goes, she never wears anything I buy her. Yeah,
and he could have been like, you're wearing it!
Yeah.
Just something.
Or like, you wear this, but you don't wear that necklace I got you.
Yeah, that's a gripe I have with this bit in general is there's moments missed between characters. So Wasp, this one has been explained to me.
Look, and I do like
Wasp and Ant-Man have a look, and to be fair, this was explained again, source unknown. Later was for them, Wasp no time has passed at all, and Ant-Man has had the time travel bit and 5 hours. That's all the time. So
they've not had that.
That they really them meeting him as battle is like, oh hi, I saw you yesterday.
Yeah.
How you been?
Yeah.
Which made justify that bit. But yeah, I just wish some of the characters had a bit more
I'd have
talky.
liked a bit more of a Bucky Cap moment.
Yeah. There's again, it's just some of those moments.
Yeah.
There was no time to have them.
Yeah.
And again, I still think it's perfect. I just wish.
So there's a
bits.
couple of moments in the battle that I want to kind of talk about. Because obviously, if we were just talking about the entire battle, it would.
Okay, I know what one of them is. So what's your second one?
Well, one of them is Gamora and Star-Lord. Because...
That was alright.
Well, no, the reason why I want to talk about this is because of where it leaves things.
We'll get back to Gamora.
Yeah, I think that's but I want to pinpoint that moment and go, that's a really interesting sort of moment. I thought it went a certain way and you went another. I like the little comedy bit though. Well done. Star-Lord kind of redeemed himself in this movie a little bit for me.
Star-Lord, I just like him. He's an idiot, but he's a lovable idiot. That's what he is.
Yeah.
He's a lovable idiot. He has no business being anywhere near guns.
Yeah.
But he is.
Yeah.
And the other bit?
The passing of the gauntlet. Let's put it like that. So the entire sequence from when Hawkeye had it to when they get it to, when Carol Danvers ends up almost getting it.
They get it to A-Force.
Yeah. So, first of all, it's the old guard passing it to the new guard. I like that. I like that it's Black Panther
Hawkeye to
taking
Black
it.
Panther.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all
guard.
new guard.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. But it's from the...
No one else from the old guard touches it.
No, but the old guard had it all in that sequence beforehand. If you think about the original Avengers, because it was Hulk, Iron Man,
I see what
Thor,
so
Captain...
For the rest of the movie, the old guys have done it.
Yeah,
and then
now it's on the new
job.
guys. And I like that.
A-Force...
Yeah, that was... To those who don't know, A-Force is female Avengers,
is the
basically.
all-female Avengers.
It was incredible.
There's an interesting point, because that moment slightly wound me up the first time I saw it, because it's cool. I love that the female characters get a moment to shine, but my gripe was always, if you just... There's always been a female, at least, maybe only Black Widow, but they've always done their best to include female characters, and it would have been slightly annoying if you'd have had a moment... No one would have been happy if it had been a moment with all the male characters. Like, not the Trinity, which is Thor, Cap, and Iron Man. They're above the rest. But I mean, like, if you had all the male characters come together and do a thing, people would have been like, why it's contrived. But, having said that, on subsequent viewings of it, it has just... fundamentally speaking,
stopped caring.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And it's as contrived as anything else is in that scene. And it's presented wrong, I think, with the line of I do have backup, and it's not all the Avengers, it's just the women. But yes, it's an incredible scene. Yes, I still want an A-Force movie. No, I'm not saying women shouldn't have moments. It's just I think if women are gonna have moments, let them let's see a shot of all the men fighting someone else, and then all the women just being like, let's do this.
Yeah.
Again, there's not time for all this.
Yeah. Now, I agree with you, I do. I think, I knew when watching it, I was thinking people are going to have, maybe not issues with this, because I don't think, let's face it, we're in 2019, people shouldn't really be having issues with women having bits and moments. But I think, again, as a movie maker, it's kind of like but why are they all there at that moment? It's like...
it would have annoyed me if halfway through the bout, all the Guardians had just assembled from across the battlefield,
it's
and they're just, like, together.
There was no way of them, like...
No.
None of them sort of went, oh, so this is why, because Gamora's fighting this person here, Nebula's over here, and then you got Valkyrie in this moment. Like, it's almost like they whistled and they all turned up.
Yes, this is the thing. It wasn't like the passing of the gauntlet where it was... The only reason Black Panther gets the gauntlet first is because he runs past Hawkeye.
Because he's right there, yeah.
Yeah. This was like we're all going to assemble, then we'll do a thing. If they'd have just gone, if it had just been Captain Marvel passes it to one of them, one of them. Like, you know this is what I want, okay? So you know in the first Avengers movie, where you have that shot and it goes around New York and it cuts. So Iron Man passes Hawkeye and then it goes on to Hawkeye and Hawkeye fires a bolt and it goes on to...
That would have been cool.
If it had been that with women... Done. Love it, because it works.
Yeah.
It's just the way we did it. But again, we're not picking holes in the women, we're just picking holes in the way it was presented. I love that all the women got together.
But the one thing I did like about it is, because on this viewing of it, the one thing I noticed is obviously, as you pointed out, the only woman on the Avengers originally was Black Widow, and she has now died. So it's nice that all of these women are now there, because she was there in the first place.
And I'll tell you what is sad... is Black Widow isn't on it. Not in a. Oh well, she's the other one. It's sad that she's not. I would have loved a line that this is for her.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. Even if you didn't say who the her was, we'd all know.
Yeah.
This and then if it had been.
That'd have been
Like if it had been a moment where so you know the Black Order.
Yeah.
If Captain Marvel or one of the other women had like killed one of the Black Order before the snap and had gone like Okoye. This would have been because Okoye and Scarlet Witch and Black Widow fight in that, and if Okoye had taken out Proxima Midnight again, going this is for her and just like stabbed her or something like that, that would have been like a don't care what you do, you've given her the choice, you put her here, she's part of this.
Yeah, no, I agree.
She's the only one that missed out, and it makes me sad.
Yeah, because she was the original, and she's the one who brought. Yeah, at the end it was, and that's what I liked.
Captain Marvel, I want to talk about quickly.
Yeah.
Because basically all I want to say is again, I really like a suit and I really like a look. And I really want it. It's just, that's it. I like the entrance. I didn't get it. Everyone apparently gets it immediately and I'm just like, okay, it's Captain Marvel.
When they started firing it up, I was like, oh, who's this going to be? What's this? And then when she flew through, I was like, that's like how she did it in the actual movie. Do you reckon they actually turned, like the Russos turned to each other and went, how does it happen in Captain Marvel again?
Yeah.
And they went, let's do the same thing. Well, no, it's like...
No, because Captain Marvel went, how does it happen in Endgame?
Well, that's the thing, is like, I think they did well to set that up in a way. Like, this isn't the first time we've seen her do this.
They've definitely worked hard to make it feel like... make Captain Marvel and Endgame try... Because they were in production at the same time. It must have been difficult to know.
Yeah.
So I think
because things happen differently on
they've
set.
been on the phone to each other and they've been going, okay, we've got this bit. Is there a line that we can keep or is there something? And I think they talked.
Yeah.
But I'm happy with Captain Marvel. I'm excited to see more of her. My only disappointment is she's so attached to space at this point. If you bring her to Earth... I
think with the fact we're going cosmic, it won't make a difference.
But I just like Captain Marvel being a pilot on Earth sort of thing. I really like that thing, and they won't go back to that now. So that's a shame.
Back to the last bit of the fight then. So against Thanos, Captain Marvel.
Oh yeah,
I love the. This is the thing. The power struggle between the two of them. Again, it was I think it was because it was almost a throwaway line. Nebula turns to Thanos when he first arrived and said they didn't expect anything, and he goes, "The arrogant never do." Mm-hmm. I feel that comes up again when he doesn't expect Captain Marvel to be able to stop him.
Yes.
Because the arrogant never do.
Yeah.
And I loved that moment. I loved that he was smart enough to use the Power Stone.
The best moment, the best singular exchange in, I think, probably that entire battle sequence is when Thanos pulls out the Power Stone and fully decks Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel knows what's going on. She goes, oh crap. She, like, the faces of, crap, this is going to happen.
And I just, it's a simple thing, but I'm like, it's, again, to make it disappointing, it's just, I wish they'd have been doing that throughout the whole thing. Like, imagine like Hulk ripping off
like constantly using one
the
of the
space stone and then pulls him and the gauntlet through it, and then he arrives somewhere else. Something like
and then
that.
Thanos sort of goes, all right, I'm gonna do the same. Just pulls.
It would have been awesome if they'd have all just been throwing Infinity Stones to each other. Can you imagine? Can you not imagine that? They're all using different powers, and then like the Reality Stone goes, and then a load of them just turn into bubbles.
I think if they'd have done the Infinity Watch, they'd have done that. Oh, because one person looking after each stone would have made sense with that.
It's complicated, and I know again, I'm not dissing the scene. I just would have loved... I wish that scene could have been an hour longer, and we could have seen so many more different things. Yeah. But not complaining. They did it right.
Yeah.
This is us
and then,
amateurly trying to fix their clearly very
what would be cool to see?
What would we do? But they probably... The thing that I like about this is us talking about this now, saying they should have done this. They've thought of it.
Yeah.
The way this movie... We're sort of at the end now. So let's get to the end, and then I'll quickly
I am Iron Man. I think you noticed it this time, which was really interesting, is the way he says it. So it's not I am Iron Man the same way as he did the first time. He doesn't
just say I am Iron Man, and this is what I've read it, and people keep talking about. I'm like, he just said I'm Iron Man. It's not that deeper a line.
No, it's
but Thanos keeps saying I am inevitable, and Tony Stark gets the glove, gets the gauntlet, and just looks him dead in the eyes and goes, and I am Iron Man. Yeah. And it's the and in the middle that makes it for me. And it's like, oh, are you?
It's like, bitch, please.
Well, I'm Iron Man. And this is what's happening.
Yeah.
And you're dead. And they hold Thanos' dusting.
Yeah.
They hold it out and
like
you
think... Like they do with Peter.
Yes, but you think... Oh,
Is he?
Yeah, he is.
I
wish
could,
they'd hold out longer.
I can imagine them of not like he just like I can imagine Iron Man being the sort of like in your face sort of person he is have left Thanos and him just gone. Now you have to face what you've done.
I would love them to have left Thanos. Here's what I would have liked: leave Thanos, and then have Tony Stark die. Someone get super angry. Probably not for maybe even you make this. Maybe you make Captain America get super angry and just kill Thanos.
Yeah.
And you have a moment you just have a moment. And it's like, but then it makes Captain America not worthy. Blah, 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 blah.
The thing is, I think it'd have been a really nice visual and a bit of a fan servicey moment, but you'd have the same issues what you had with Man of Steel, and they'll go, but that's not Superman, but that's not Captain America.
I know, but I think the end of this movie, Captain America is. I think again, it's the journey.
Yeah.
It's the journey of him earning that.
Part
I
of
think
journeys,
if you want to get into Man of Steel quickly, I think Superman earns it because he doesn't know what being a hero is yet, and he thinks, well, I need to kill him, I'm going to kill him. It's not played very well. I don't think the writing does it justice to the idea, but I think if you make it a Superman who thinks, well, the only way for me to stop this guy is to kill him. So why would I lock him up when I have to stop him again, when I can just kill him?
Anyway.
So, to sum up, I think...
Oh, we haven't done the funeral.
Oh, the funeral, we've talked about it a bit.
Yeah,
it's
no,
pretty.
But the people who were there.
We'll come to them.
No, but as in, the one person I am pleased...
Just say it.
What?
Say it. It's not a secret.
No, as in the one person I'm pleased was there was Harley from the third Iron Man.
It's okay. He's there. He doesn't look anything alike, so no one really got it. Necessarily. You have to really know to know. My only issue with it is there are probably 20 other characters who should have been there. And they chose Harley, and I'm not sure if Harley was the one.
Yeah, I don't understand why Ross was there. Why Thunderbolt Ross?
Yeah,
unless there's a reason why in the next movie, like it starts at that moment and he talks, he's talking to them.
If these are all going somewhere, that's fine. My issue is just, I definitely think if you're gonna put an Harley, relatively obscure as a character, if you're gonna put him in, given he hasn't appeared for what 6 years, if you're gonna put him in, you have to have everyone. Yeah. Like, I'm just trying to think off the top of my head, other people, other S.H.I.E.L.D. agents who are important. Coulson.
Well, he's dead.
But he's not. Well, he is now, but he's not. It's complicated. Coulson is a very difficult situation because he's dead to them, but he's also not dead, but then he died in his own thing, but then he's come back as a different one.
Yeah, but he's a different person, so he's still dead.
But either way...
Watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
There's just... No, don't. This isn't from me not watching it, and I still know this confusing nonsense. It just... I don't know what it was. The funeral just felt...
I mean, you have gripes about it because of the Black Widow anyway.
I feel... Even if... Maybe it would have helped if there had just been people we didn't know who they were there. Maybe that would have made it better. But it just felt like I can name all these people, apart from this one kid who I can name after I recognise him. But he was so obscure compared to everyone else. If you'd have put just like 3 random people throughout it who weren't really important, fine.
So his ending speech though,
beautiful.
Yeah, I like the fact that they play it over where people are.
Yes.
So you've got Cassie Lang, I like the fact that I think they kind of had to for the story to make sense, but Peter going back to school and... Because I can imagine that the people who weren't snapped are now 5 years ahead sort of thing.
That is what it is.
Yeah, but I'm glad that Ned got snapped at the same time. Because I sort of went, well, yeah, all of
Peter Parker's friends have been snapped.
I have a feeling that Flash might not have.
He's in the trailer.
Yes, but I have a feeling he wasn't snapped though. Because he's got a mustache, and I have a feeling they're going to make a joke out of him being like 19 or something.
But he wouldn't be in their year, would he?
Well, he might not be. They're going on a summer vacation.
No, they're going on a summer trip for school. It's a school trip.
Anyway, I do find it... I'm glad
Why
that
would
Ned
Flash go on a trip with Peter Parker, who he thinks is an idiot?
Yeah. Well, he likes the other people around him, though.
Yeah, but it's definitely a school trip.
Anyway.
I think they've definitely all been snapped, because they've said they all got snapped, but they've said everyone in this school might not have been snapped, sort of thing. So it's these characters have.
The characters who are important all got snapped. Okay.
But, yes. I will talk about the ending a bit, which we'll come on to as soon as we get into characters. So the ending was not what anyone really thought it would be. There's no post-credit scene. It doesn't really do anything to set up anything else.
It just says goodbye to the Infinity Saga.
It just ends, and this is where my disappointment with this movie comes in. Not disappointment. There's no extra hype
done. Yeah.
because it's what it is, and I'm very happy, and I love this movie, and it probably is my favourite movie. But that's why when I leave this movie, I'm not like, oh my god, that's for Fantastic Four, or oh my god, he's going to train his daughter.
It's a very different feeling to what we're used to with Marvel
Yes.
movies. You're used to coming out of Marvel movies going, they're going to do this next, they're going to do this. We came out of this movie going, oh.
And I still think it's a dick move that there's no post-credit scene, and I don't care about your shitty Tony Stark sound. I don't
think that's what it is, but we'll get to that later.
Because they've said that's what it is. Because they said there's no teaser. They don't know what happens next.
Well, okay. Well, the point is, I appreciate what they did. I agree with you in the fact that I think that they could have done more with it, and I've kind of gone, there's no hype. But then I think there being no hype creates a hype anyway, because they're going to be like, we don't know where we're going next, and everyone's going to be like, oh, we don't know where we're going next. Oh, what's going to happen?
Yeah, I think it was just a nice end chapter. Also, we never got anything with Doctor Strange at the end.
We didn't. But then I think, as you said in the last one...
He got really shortchanged in this.
Yeah, but I think because he played a big part in the last one.
He calls everyone back.
Yeah.
And he just gets... He doesn't really get... He holds some water for a bit.
Yeah, but...
That's it. That's all
he had to do.
I know.
But, no, I think, as you said in the last podcast, both Wakanda and Doctor Strange were kind of reset back to exactly where they were before.
Yes, well,
and I think that's probably a good idea.
So this movie was just impeccable. It did everything it had to do.
Yeah.
It didn't try to achieve too much, even if we wanted it to. Oh, Falcon is Captain America now. That was good.
And obviously, nice little fan service to Cap.
Yes.
Which you called.
I absolutely nailed. I think I should get an award for this. I called it, and I checked I called this. I said that the ending shot should be Captain America getting his dance with Peggy, and then it just goes to black.
But
that's exactly what happens.
But I called how the movie would end anyway. Because I said Iron Man would use it, Captain America would go back in time and be with Peggy.
Yeah, but I called the shot.
You called the shot, which I
knew he was going back in
cool
time.
Thing.
Anyway, okay, so I loved this movie.
Yeah.
You loved this movie.
It's incredible.
We loved this movie.
I'd see it every day.
I'm speechless to how it did it, because it's really, really good.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you don't think this... we said it in the last one, right at the start. When you think about where we were at the start of Avengers to where we are now, you sort of go, there is no way... And Tony Stark says it when he says that if you'd have told me 10 years ago that we'd have this, that there'd be other beings and to this extent, if you'd have told us when Avengers was a thing that this was coming,
no one would have.
Everyone would have gone, "You're stupid. This isn't going to happen." If you said it about Civil War, I think people would go, "That's not happening." That's how incredible this movie is. They managed to take an idea which everyone would just think is ridiculous, and not only make it work, but make people happy about how the outcome was. They could have pissed so many people off with minor decisions in this movie, and they didn't.
Yes, they did.
And that in itself, doesn't matter what happens in the rest of the movie, the fact they didn't annoy anyone. When you think about the likes of Star Wars, where they make decisions that piss people off to no end, to a point where they won't go see the movies again, they didn't annoy anyone. That's how good this movie is. So,
next thing is, if you listen to the last one, we had a little bit of a bet. A little bit of a Betsy poo. And we basically went through the characters and talked about where they end up. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go through the characters, talk about...
And the idea was, whoever got the most...
Oh, yeah, they...
would the other person would buy them a Funko Pop.
An Endgame Funko Pop.
Yes, an Endgame Funko
So, it's... So, in terms of a bet specifically, it's most important what the status is when the movie is over.
Yeah.
Which you'll understand because there's a couple of bits. But given certain things that people got right, we're also going to have some bonus points potentially.
I don't know where this is going, by the way. Only he knows. So I'm interested.
Because of things that were technically right. Basically, they're right on a technicality sort of thing, and it's just quite funny.
Like Thunderbirds in International Rescue.
Yes, like that. And that is a story that no one else will know because I'm trying to let it go. Okay, so as we go through these characters, we'll also talk about them a bit in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so we'll start with Captain America, who you said at the end would be alive, and then I said would be back in time. Because you didn't say, but you on your bet, you didn't put back in time.
Now, I want to back up my point in this. Because at the end of the movie, he's not back with Peggy. He's in our time.
But at the end of the movie...
But that's chronologically or shot-wise. Because chronologically, he comes back.
In terms of the way you call it in the bet, you call it as in, you couldn't commit to the back in time. Is what happened.
But he came back.
No, but you didn't mean it like that. You mean it like he won't.
All right.
You don't mean old Cap. If you just said old Cap, you're conceding that point.
I'm conceding that one.
Because he does go back in time.
He does. No, I said this beforehand.
You did, and then you wimped out of the end. But I love Captain America in this movie. I think his arc comes full circle.
I've loved Cap's every movie that Cap's been in. I've loved. Because he's just a very good, and I love Chris Evans. I think he's an amazing actor. I mean, I watch him in anything. You know, he's the best part about the Fantastic Four movies. I think he was incredible in this movie, and I think probably going into Endgame when first writing it, the Russos probably turned to them and went, "This is it for Cap. We need to give him the right send off."
Yep.
And I think that was done. I don't think there's Secret Empire was beautiful. Cap versus Cap was beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, Mjolnir did it for me. Avengers Assemble, a line that we didn't speak about. The fact that they managed to finally say it.
Yes. They've been saving it for this, but I'm glad they said it.
And, it was...
So, Thor.
Yeah.
You said he would be with the Guardians.
Yeah.
And I said he would be on New Asgard.
Now he's with the Guardians.
So...
The Asgardians of the Galaxy.
The Asgardians of the Galaxy. So, you were right. Nailed it. I was right for a bit of a movie.
Yeah, he was,
He was on New Asgard, because I knew it was coming.
When New Asgard came, I did turn to you in the movies and I went, you were right, but I didn't... Obviously, we didn't see where it was going.
I do believe... I can't remember what I say. I'm pretty sure I agree that I think he probably was going to be with the Guardians of the Galaxy, because that setup was pretty good. But my only disappointment with Thor in this movie is see, I don't know if I'm disappointed or not. It's weird how I feel about Thor. It depends what they do with him. If fat Thor is weird because Thor's fat was symbolic of his grief. He was sad.
So if he loses it,
So it's like, if he stays fat Thor forever, it doesn't really work because he's not that person.
No.
But it also annoys me that by the end of this movie, he's still that Thor. Because the point should have been he overcame that and rose above it and was like... Because when he speaks to his mum, it's like, no, I'm going to be who I want to be. I'm not just going to wallow and blah, blah, blah.
Well, I think the interesting thing is... So, I was disappointed in Fat Thor at the start. When our first viewing...
Oh, at the start I thought it was funny.
No, you see, I thought it was mishandled. Going into the grief side of it, it made more sense to me. And I kind of now go, yes, it's fair enough. Now, I think what you're thinking won't happen because after his conversation with his mom, he doesn't touch alcohol and he doesn't become that person again. He's very sort of mentally distraught in the scene where he's deciding...
Was he going to touch the alcohol?
Well, no, because he could have gone back and been drinking during who's going to use the Infinity Gauntlet.
Could he though?
It could have been.
It wasn't a massive amount of time.
But
I know what you're saying, though.
But the point is, I think he has changed, not back, but into a person who probably is likely to work on his figure a bit more.
Okay. We'll see.
I loved Korg Meek in it. I mean, they're not characters who we're going to talk about, so...
I'm glad Thor isn't dead.
Yeah.
That's what I'll say.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's continuing, and I feel he has got somewhere to go.
Yeah.
Some direction. Okay, so the next character was Hawkeye.
I said dead.
You said dead, and I said
Alive.
with family, training his daughter.
Which we don't know.
So I consider as wrong in terms of the movie, but this is one of the ones where I go with closest, because otherwise we don't get a massive amount of points.
Yeah. No, I'll give you that because he's alive at the end of the day.
Yes. And I love Hawkeye.
I loved Ronin. I have to be honest. I think
That was the bit I loved the least because it was so pointless.
Well, I liked the way that, again. It's every time that they went, who's handling grief in which way.
Give me
I
a
liked
Ronin
it.
Disney Plus series, and I'll be happy.
Well, they've got a Hawkeye series.
But it's future. If they did a Ronin one where you see 4 episodes even of him going and just see something.
I have a feeling Hawkeye will work, and now this is going to be really bad. The same
Go on.
way that Arrow worked, in the fact that
No,
they'll
no,
do flashbacks to when he was
No,
Ronin.
not a chance now. Not a chance now would they do that. It doesn't work. Because Arrow outlived it and then now is being cancelled because it can't survive as a show because it...
Well, it's not had it for the past 2 years.
But that's what I mean. And
Yeah.
it's floundered.
Yeah, true.
War Machine. You said Thunderbolt Ross replacement. I said dead. For this, I was just like, neither of us are even...
He was
you
alive.
are alive, so you
Yeah.
get the point. But
Yeah.
neither of us are even close. We just don't know what's happening.
Well, it's because we kind of assumed that the snappies would be dead, so well, some of them would be. So I think that's why I kind of went, well, Ross would probably die, but then he turns up in the funeral. So.
Yes. Where is it? Next one. Pepper Potts.
Yeah,
You
I said
said-
alive Stark
You
Industries,
said
didn't I?
Running Stark Industries, and I said with family.
We both got it right.
On the technicality, I went family because
We don't know if
she was not running Stark Industries at any point in this movie, so we would assume she wouldn't be. And I said with Tony with a family, she still has a family. So I went on with technicality there.
Okay. I still think that we should probably have halved that.
You were wrong. You said Stark Industries.
You said with Tony.
I said with family.
You said with
I
Tony.
implied. I actually
You
said,
said with
Tony and a daughter.
Still.
I read it. Yeah,
Point is.
but which is closer, and I was closer.
Alright, we'll give you the points.
Yes, you bloody well will. We had Ant-Man.
Yeah. I said alive, but his daughter's dead, didn't I?
You did,
Mm.
and I said, I literally just was like, no, his daughter will be alive, possibly New Avengers.
Yeah.
But my point was his daughter will definitely be alive.
Yeah, so you win that one.
So I'm stealing that point.
Well, that's an interesting one because obviously in the comics she's Stinger, so I think that's probably coming. Because I think it was interesting that they chose to age her up, but not anyone else. Like they could have done new Hawkeye if one of his kids had survived. So I find it interesting that Cassie Lang had survived.
Yes.
So yeah.
Okay, so the next one is... Where are we? Hulk?
I said Professor Hulk, didn't I? I said Dr. Hulk.
You did, so you nailed it. I
Yeah.
said he would either be Hulk or Banner.
Yeah.
But you were right.
What gave that away to me was the Reed Richards effects. When Reed Richards is Mr. Fantastic, he's grey on his
always
sideburns.
grey on his
No, he's not. When he's not, he gets that through the cosmic thing.
He's bloody...
Yeah.
He's...
So
Dr.
when
Hulk, you were
when
right.
Hulk had grey hair, I was like, yeah,
Okay.
it's not.
Rocket.
I said alive, didn't I?
You said with Guardians,
Yeah.
and I said he's definitely with Guardians, but to say something different, I
Yeah.
said he's with Groot, just with Groot.
Yeah. Well,
But you're right, he's with Guardians. Valkyrie, you put alive
yeah,
and nothing, and I said
alive,
New
New
Asgard.
Asgard. So
Wong, Sanctum Sanctorum, you said, and
Yeah.
I said dead, so you
when
got way closest. I assume he is in the Sanctum Sanctorum. Now here's where it gets difficult. Okoye,
I said alive A-Force, didn't I?
I believe you did.
Yeah.
I said
Wakanda's basically going back to the way it was.
we both basically are like, she's definitely going to be alive in some sort. But my point I kept making was, Wakanda in every sense will be in exactly the same position.
Which
it
it
was
is. Which it
when
is.
the movie. Nothing changed for Wakanda
no.
because they didn't want to mess with it.
Because
So
most of them got fucking snapped.
giving bonus points for Wakanda being identical.
Yeah.
Nebula. You said
Wow, this is where we're both very
we
wrong.
were both wrong. You said dead by Thanos.
Yeah.
You thought he would kill her, and
We
I
haven't been
said,
speaking about the characters.
but there's nothing said about these characters.
No, but what Rocket?
What about him? He didn't do nothing.
Yeah, but I think Rocket... There's one moment with Rocket which I really liked, which is when Nebula first came back down.
Okay,
And they both sit there and they just hold hands because they've both lost the only family they've got.
Right.
I really liked that.
that's right.
Yeah.
I like Valkyrie's horse. That was cool.
Yeah.
And Wong and Okoye did nothing. There's nothing
Yeah.
really to say about both.
But anyway.
We've talked about a lot of these already.
Yeah.
Then I said Nebula would be dead by her own hand.
Yeah. Now this is an interesting one.
Now I'm taking technicality
you're
points
right.
because she killed herself. And I kept saying she's going to kill herself.
Yeah.
So I want a bonus point on principle because I just repeatedly say in that section, she's going to do it. She's going to kill herself.
You're not wrong. I can't argue against you. You're not wrong.
So what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to leave it to the end and we'll see if it's a tie. Because
So you can win.
no, yeah, but what I'm saying is
No, yeah.
because there's another one I think we're leaving to the end, but because she's at the end of a movie, technically speaking, she is alive.
I agree with you.
Happy Hogan, you said alive, I said dead. Called it. He was nice in this movie. He was nice. He had a nice amount of cheeseburgers at the end. I quite like cheeseburgers.
He did. I like the cheeseburgers.
Actually, going back to Nebula, I'm so happy for Karen Gillan.
Yeah.
She is really, really good, and I'm happy she's not dead. I thought she would die because it was it would have been a good conclusion to her story.
Yeah.
But I'm glad she's not dead because she's really good at her part.
I mean, we're both big Doctor Who fans.
She's the biggest success story out of Doctor Who.
Unless the rumours are true with Matt Smith actually being in Star Wars.
Yeah, but even then, that's one. She's been in, 4 movies now?
She is.
An
And she's
important part of all
very
of them.
good.
And she's really good at
And I think what's quite nice is... Yeah.
I love Karen Gillan. She's done more than I think anyone thought she would, but she's really good at it. And I think she's probably a really nice person, which is why she keeps getting work. But she's talented too.
Yeah.
Anyway, Iron Man.
I can't remember what I said.
We're both wrong. Both of us thought he would be alive. You said retired. Family.
Yeah.
I said director of S.H.I.E.L.D. So I'd say...
I should have gone dead, because that's what my theory was. My theory was what happened.
Yeah.
And I should have
think
gone dead.
No points, because
Yeah.
we were both fundamentally wrong on that one.
Yeah, at the end of the day.
Because we're talking about it and we're like, there's no way. Because it was your theory, but you said, I don't really know if they'll kill him completely by the end of the movie.
I thought because of
money.
of Spider-Man and money.
Yeah. Captain Marvel. You said lead New Avengers, and I said just on the New Avengers.
I don't think she's either.
And I would say no points because we've no idea.
Yeah,
and
I don't think she's
I don't
either.
think there's enough distinction between leading and not leading that we could figure out.
I think she's just that ex machina they're going to call on every now and again if they need it.
Maybe. Black Widow, you said director of S.H.I.E.L.D. And what did I say? That
Dead as dicks.
dead as dicks.
Yeah, she is, yeah.
Called it. I called a lot of deaths.
Yeah.
What's really interesting about this next section, okay,
Is these all the people who died? Who were snapped?
is every single... This is the snapped people.
Yeah.
It's every single person on this list is alive.
Well, this is the thing about the snaps.
And
They all got... And your worst scenario was that no one would die. And all the snaps came back.
I'm less annoyed. I'm still...
I think that, just like I did, my worst scenario was that Thanos would die in the first 10 minutes. I think the way they did it made sense.
Yes, and the way they did this... I think my fear was no one dies at all.
Yeah. No, because you even said even if, like, Cap dies and no one else does, it would still piss you off.
But Black Widow died earlier.
Yeah. I think because of how it happened, I think it was...
Yes, I felt it justified it. And maybe too many deaths would have... Because they might have tried it with too many deaths and they just lost full gravity. That might have been it. Anyway, so, Star-Lord, we both said alive. Spider-Man, we both said alive. I had my theory about him something.
Yeah.
I didn't put it in the bet because I was very wrong about that.
Yeah, I get why you were coming at it, though. I do understand it.
I do see why they didn't do it because there's no room for it, even if they wanted to. They didn't set up anything for the future. That was it.
Yeah.
And that's the rule they stuck by. You said Shuri knew Iron Man. I said Shuri Wakanda because I said Wakanda would be the same.
Yeah, so you get that.
I get that one. Groot alive. We were very unspecific because we both just thought most of them would be alive.
Yeah.
You said Wasp dead, like an absolute lunatic, and I said Wasp alive. You said Falcon dead, like a lunatic, and then I reminded you quickly that they had a TV show.
I did that with Drax
And
as
then
well.
you said no, and then you said Bucky new Cap, and I was like, well, no, he's just going to be alive because he has a TV series.
Yes, but but you used the fact that they had a TV series as why there wouldn't be a new Cap, but Falcon's a new Cap.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I have a theory. I'll say this theory while I have it now. I think they will change, and I think this would be really sweet. And I think this might be announced in the coming things. Now they're lifting spoilers. They are going to rename it Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Because that's the comic. And wouldn't you love that if that was the TV show?
That's quite cool.
Because I've always had a problem with the title Falcon and the Winter Soldier because it sounds like garbage.
Yeah, it's just where they've done one division, they've done a thing for each.
But if it was Captain America and Winter Soldier, I'm sort of forgiving because it is a thing already.
Yeah.
They're taking the name of something, and I would love that if they rename, because I don't want, if he goes back to being Falcon in the TV show, and he's too scared to take on the mantle, I'll be annoyed.
I think, staying on this for a second, I think
Unless it's a flashback.
No, I think the way that they'll do Falcon in the Winter Soldier is they'll go, Falcon tries to be him, but he's always sort of saying to himself, I can't, I'm not a super soldier, and at the end of it, Winter Soldier takes over.
Then I'll be annoyed. If Falcon is not fully Captain America, not necessarily super strong, I don't know what they're going to do about that, but I will be really, really angry if he doesn't, at least for a bit, properly go, I am Captain America.
Yeah.
Because it will feel like a cop-out.
Anyway, back to the list. I've lost this because I keep saying people are dead just for...
Drax.
Yeah, I said he was dead, and then
and then
oh god, he was in...
alive, but only because James Gunn got rehired.
Yeah.
If he hadn't been rehired, I would have like, you're right, dead.
Yeah.
You said Black Panther alive. I just didn't answer Black Panther, so I'll give you points and lose me points because I never answered.
Really?
Yeah, we just skip over it too quickly.
I think it's
I said, what did you say? You said Black Panther alive. I better go, okay, next one.
Yeah, I think it's because at the end of the day, well...
But I will hold my hands up and give myself not credit, even though we all knew he was going to be alive.
Yeah.
Scarlet Witch, we both said alive.
Yeah.
Mantis, we both said alive because there was no point killing her because no one would care.
I love how even they sort of went, what was it?
And Rocket called them a one with the antennas.
But then it does make sense because they don't know each other that well.
Now, we're going to come back to this one. We're going to come back to these two, actually, because they're both in question. Vision, you said dead.
Yeah.
I said alive or black. I was wrong. Didn't even appear.
No, I think Vision will either come back because he will, like, they'll make him an android and not have the Mind Stone.
I think...
Because Shuri was very close.
No, but I think WandaVision is flashback. And
Yeah.
all WandaVision... Well, actually, what I think WandaVision is WandaVision is her...
Remembering.
So, in a comic, I don't know which one it is, she creates children with the vision because she wants them so badly. I think... They keep describing it as like a show, like 50s aesthetic. I think it's going to be Home Sweet Home. It's a vision. They've got kids. But it's all her head, and it's sort of like a psychedelic...
Almost like the last season of Legion was.
I don't know, I didn't see Legion.
You should, it's good.
But people maybe trying to pull her out of it, or something happening, but it's her against herself.
That's interesting, yeah.
That's what I really think WandaVision will be. Nick Fury, you said alive. I said dead because I thought they'd do it, but
they didn't do
there was no place to do it.
No, they kind of
I'm glad they didn't.
Because they made the nod to Nick Fury at the start when they were looking through the list of the Vanished.
Yes.
And
he appeared at the end.
Yeah.
It was nice. But I'm glad they didn't kill him here. Because imagine him on that field of battle. He would have been dead in like 3 seconds.
Oh, God, yeah.
But I think Spider-Man, again, I think every movie that Samuel L. Jackson is in now is on death watch. Just because I want him to get a moment. Yeah. I do not want... something bad to happen to Samuel L. Jackson, touch all the wood.
Yeah, I think the next Avengers movie will kill him off.
And then him to just... Imagine... Nick Fury dying off screen is the worst thing that could happen. Oh, horrors. Yeah. Shivers. Right. Anyway, Doctor Strange. Yeah. You said New Avengers. I said Illuminati.
We don't know what's happening.
We have no idea, so no points. The next two are two that we have to... We will go back and forth a bit. So Loki.
Right.
Yeah. So before we say what each other said... Loki is not resurrected.
No.
But 2012 Loki...
Something's happened to him.
Something has happened, and they have been very hush-hush on what that is.
And they've been very hush-hush. Like, they've said what Loki's TV series will be.
Time travelling.
But they've not said
anything more than that. And because gods live for thousands of years.
So I reckon, first thing, from the start, I just went, he's not coming back. That TV show is just going to be him on Asgard and how it all happened.
Yes. But I am now of the opinion that him taking that stone there, he is going back in time from that moment, and maybe we'll live up.
It's a space stone, though.
Yes, but how was he going to time travel anyway? Yeah. Whatever that was, I think it's the same thing. But yeah. I think he's stepped out of that point, and maybe at the end of the show he will return. He will walk into that room at that point, sort of like the moral of the story. He learned that maybe he figures out that that's where he needs to be, and he finds out, and he's like...
It's an interesting little concept, and I like the way they've sort of left it open-ended.
But you put dead, I put alive. I think no points on
because
principle.
he kind of is dead and alive at the same time.
Then we have Gamora. So
now
this is interesting.
Because I don't know if
the movie is debatable.
Yeah.
But I believe, and I will, while we're talking, I will confirm this.
Okay, so basically, what my thought was and what I thought happened is when the snap happened, it just basically Tony snapped away all things that came from 2014.
Okay.
Now that's what I thought was the case. So in that case, Gamora was snapped too.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that Peter Quill's searching for Gamora makes me go, okay, so he thinks she might be still alive. Because obviously, who... He surely would have been told at that point that the way they get the Soul Stone is by killing someone and that person can't come back. In which case, his Gamora is dead. But...
Yes.
You've seen something that says that actually Tony's snap only kills all of Thanos' minions and him.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Gamora's ran away from the battle and so still alive.
From what? Because I knew this before going into watch it the third time. Regardless of any of that, but my point of Gamora not being dusted is you never see her dusted. And as a character, could you not imagine Peter Quill having to what? As a moment that is important to a character, should he not have seen her dust if she was dead? To say that she is alive, to say that she was dusted just feels... You saw the entire Black Order get dusted.
Yeah.
It would be weird to have Gamora dusted off screen, given how important she is as a character.
Like she could have done it in front of Nebula or in front of...
Yeah, it could have happened. Even if we just saw it and they didn't, it would have been weird to have her dusted
and not see it.
Because that would have confirmed it.
Yeah.
My point about her running away and being off stage is he searches for her at the end as if...
Well, this is what I said. He'd have known by that point.
Because you said, because it goes, not found, but it doesn't... He swipes it away. It just says searching. Before, and I think... I'm reading a thing now. I think that she is still alive.
Now, because you see, my prevailing theory for Guardians 3 is that Adam Warlock was going to come into it, and by the end of it, because in the comics, he can go into the Soul Stone. So my theory was, at the end of Guardians 3, he goes into the Soul Stone and brings Gamora out. But
it's looking like she is alive.
But it's looking like she's alive. Now, in which case, does that still happen and he bring her out and that spirit goes into the body of this Gamora?
Well, okay, so this is the complicated thing that comes back to time travel. I don't think the Soul Stone, I don't think they're messing with that, because I think then Black Widow's back, and then everyone's back.
Yeah.
There's no way they'll... If it's from a Soul Stone, it's too... First of all, there's no Soul Stone in their timeline.
Yeah.
Because it's been disintegrated. And if you go down the Soul Stone route, it makes it... There's no permanent death in the MCU.
Yeah.
Because you've already got to... They could bring Tony back at any point, sort of thing.
Well, yeah.
So I think the 2014 one is alive, and they will find her somewhere else.
Okay, so what did we say?
You said dead. I said alive.
So who's that point going to?
We're not doing points on this.
Okay.
Because it's too
convoluted.
Yes, it's our theory of whether she's dead or alive. So I'm just not giving points to make it fair. Or I think on this I gave us both points. But...
Bonus points?
So I think I did the bonus points as we went along.
Because surely I should get bonus points for calling the how the movie happened.
Oh, we're not doing bonus points on other theories.
Oh, for God's sake. But you get bonus points for Wakanda being the same.
In relation to the character of Okoye and... Fine, I will remove that bonus point. Fine. I didn't watch the whole episode to know what we did. Hold on. Okay, so let me count this up.
I did.
So, while I count this up, you can talk to yourself.
Yeah. But I think it's interesting to think about, because that's what we're going to go on to next. We're going to go on to talk about what happens next. Where do we go from here? And I think it's quite an interesting thought about where this leaves us. So obviously the ones that are confirmed are definitely Guardians 3, Black Panther 2, Doctor Strange 2, Spider-Man Far From Home, but they're not confirmed in the MCU. So they could just be movies that are being made for alternate multiverses, maybe? But I don't know. James is still counting and struggling.
I'm checking I'm right.
Because I think he's basically saying that he's won.
That's not what I'm saying. I think it's something even funnier.
Oh, if we actually drew. That'd be hilarious. So yeah, I'm interested to see where we go from here. I'm interested to hear your theories to where we go from here. Because I've got a few. But I've also got none. Like, the great thing about this movie is that it just leaves us and goes, alright, have fun. I hope you enjoyed it. Like, what? Where do we go from here? What do we do now?
If we exclude all our bonus points,
Right.
so I would think, because we already, if we exclude all bonus points, you were on 15 points, and I'm on 16 points.
No! So who won Nebula then?
Nebula?
Yeah.
Is-
That was one that we said that we didn't give any points for.
I took that point off.
Oh, right.
That was a bonus point. I deleted the bonus point.
So, you won then.
So that was just off straight, no bonus points.
So
The ones
bonus
we got.
points, I'm guessing you won by more.
I got 3 bonus points.
Yeah.
So yes. Haha. I've won.
Congratulations. What Funko do you want?
I don't know, we'll figure it out later.
When more come out?
When we get some in stock at the shop.
Yeah. So
I've won.
Next
This is what matters. This is the only thing. This is the last ever podcast. Peace! I've come out on a profit!
That's not how it's happening.
No, it's not.
Right.
So, was that everything we were supposed to talk about?
No. What happens next?
So this is we talked about this. There's a lot of leeway, and we will at a later point, probably after this Spider-Man Homecoming trailer drops, discuss.
Far From Home trailer, you mean?
I keep calling it Homecoming. The Spider-Man Far From Home trailer drops. Discuss the future.
Yeah.
Because I think there is
There's
literally every option.
Every option. Like,
I
nothing has been
think
confirmed.
we'll probably wait a couple of months. Maybe we'll wait even till after Spider-Man comes out to fully go in depth.
Easter eggs, though.
So there are lots of Easter eggs we both picked up on. My favourite is there's a Captain Britain Easter egg.
Yeah.
Someone says about Braddock that
Yeah.
he's late for something or whatever. There's a Howard the Duck in the final battle, which I actually saw today.
What?
Howard the Duck's in it. You have to know.
No.
There's one. I've only seen him in one shot, and I saw a picture online, and then looked for that shot, and then looked for him. He's
I
in it.
didn't see him.
I'll show
Oh,
you.
you'll have to show me. I think
It's really not that cool. He's just in it.
so. There's a lot. So there's also a lot of like comic Easter eggs in there.
Mm-hmm.
So you have
We're not listing all the Easter eggs,
No.
FYI.
The ones that I loved were Secret Empire. I went crazy in the cinema
liked
at
that
it.
one.
So, but the thing I liked the best about it is the entirety of Captain America versus Captain America.
That is his head.
Come here.
That white bit is his head.
That's isn't it? So the entire of that Captain America versus Captain America bit was Secret Empire. He says "Hail Hydra," showing himself to be Hydra Cap, so to speak. And then in Secret Empire, the Cosmic Cube, which in this universe is the Tesseract, was what caused him to this evil version to come out of normal Cap. So when normal Cap then comes back, they have a fight between them, and that fight is that fight. So I love that that's a fact. I love that that's a thing, and that's a nice little nod. And I love that. The Stan Lee cameo obviously was a nice little nod.
I love that they de-aged him. Just
Yeah.
as like because I'm sure he probably was like, can you make me look younger? And
Yeah.
then they had.
Which what I find really weird is they did it for that, but not for Captain Marvel, where he was playing a younger version of himself anyway.
A bit, but he wasn't that much younger. He's probably still looked pretty old.
He looked completely like if you watch him in that film, which he was.
Okay.
He looked completely different, which is why it's really interesting that they did it.
Well,
in
maybe
this.
they just didn't want to do it the same
Yeah.
twice in a row.
Now, any other Easter eggs? Yes, there's one
Plenty.
that was pointed out to me, which I think
Go on.
could
Oh, I
be
don't
about
like
the
this.
future of Wakanda.
Oh, go on. What's this one?
So, they did a Submariner.
They didn't.
They did.
They did.
But it could have been Submariner.
Okay, so
Okoye
to explain
goes
what
to
he's talking to, he's saying there are tremors underneath the South Pacific. That's it. That's for reference.
which could be
But that's like,
because at the end of the day, in all the comics, Namor
Yeah.
was a Black Panther villain. Wakanda and
Namor's not a villain.
no, yes, he was. Namor's like evil. He's a worse. Oh, what's the best way? He's like Magneto, in which he's usually a villain, because it's Atlantis versus Wakanda. That was what the big fights always were. He was like Magneto. He was always a villain, and then he just sort of came to be a good guy every now and again. And I think that's the way they're gonna go with it. I'm telling you now, the Submariner is.
I'm looking it up right now because I don't believe you.
He's probably not. You're not probably gonna find it online.
No, it says he is.
They'll call him a hero.
Well, but you wouldn't call Magneto a hero. You call Magneto a villain. You can't.
No, because Magneto does heroic things.
But he is not in any stretch of the imagination a hero.
Well, okay, he's not that. He's not as bad as Magneto.
Namor, in one instance, might be a villain. He is, by and large, a good guy.
Mm.
He is in almost every circumstance.
He's a morally questionable good guy.
He would be like Bucky right now.
No.
Yes.
He's like Bucky in Civil War.
Bucky right now. Like,
he's Bucky Civil War.
No, because Bucky in Civil War didn't do anything wrong. That's the same principle as right now. What he is someone who might have done a bit wrong. You could not make him a villain of a movie.
Yeah, he will be the next. I'm calling it now. He'll be the villain in the next Black Panther movie.
Okay, you can call that. But they're not referencing Namor, whatever you want to call it.
Well, that's what I think now.
They're definitely not. That's such a Okay, so you know when Tony Stark says "Love You 3000," they're actually referencing Ironheart because Ironheart was introduced in comic book Iron Man 3000.
No, sure. But there is a reason why they say 3000 though.
Do you know why?
Because at the end of Far From Home, all the Marvel movies add up to the 3,000 minutes.
That's not why.
That's apparent. That's what I've seen.
That's not why.
So why is it?
Because Robert Downey Jr. says "I love you 3000" to his family. That is what they say.
Oh, really?
They didn't write that in the script.
Oh, that's cute.
That is something that came from. That's such a... All your Easter eggs are just convoluted nonsense.
No, that's what I've heard. I've genuinely heard that.
But we don't know how long Far From Home is. That's assuming you know how Far From Home is.
That's true.
That's also, therefore, assuming whether it's short or long. It probably makes Far From Home 4.5 hours, and we're like, but it must be.
It has to be. No. Anyway.
But no, there was another one which I liked, which I can't remember what it was now, but I liked it. I can't remember what it was. Cool. There was lots of Easter eggs. I didn't write any of them down.
No.
Because why would I bother?
Yeah.
But it was a really, really clever one. Oh well, guess I'll never know what that was. One interesting thing, but I will point out, because I kept saying, because I love Hawkeye, I want to talk about Hawkeye for a bit longer. So Hawkeye fans, assemble. So Catherine Langford was cast in this movie.
Yes, she was.
Heavily reported as cast in this movie. She can't be Hawkeye's daughter because Hawkeye has a daughter and she's before the age jump. She never has an age jump. So my theory is that she was... this movie was in flux a lot more than we think.
Well, Agent Carter was in all the trailers. As in, like, Agent 13.
She wasn't in any of the trailers.
She was. You know, the woman who's sitting there shooting that's her. That's Agent 13.
Him shooting what?
There's a moment in a shooting range, and she's
Black Widow.
No, it's not.
I'm literally going to show you this
right
now.
It's not.
You're
a
lunatic. Wait, no. We're going to play this on air to make you look even more stupid. We're going to record your reaction.
I'm telling you now, it's
you are
not.
an absolute lunatic. You think it... We'll go to this trailer because it's the first one that came up.
I don't think it is.
It's in this trailer. It's in every trailer. About to happen. It's not in this trailer.
That one, isn't it? That's not. That's definitely.
That's not. It's so clearly Black Widow. It's so clearly Black Widow.
It is.
It's so clearly Black Widow. Give it here.
Yeah, it's
idiot.
I don't know why I thought it was Agent. Anyway, that's not in the trailer. There's a lot of shots that aren't in this.
There's not.
Movie.
There's not. I went back. There is a few select shots. What surprised me was one, how much was in the trailer. One, there weren't really any fake shots.
Like they did in Infinity War.
Or like lots of movies do now anyway. And there also wasn't so it was reported, but there was nothing from Act 3 in the trailers. There's so much more from Act 3, but you have no idea that it's from Act 3, and people were placing things in, like, completely the wrong order.
Yeah.
The favourite shot that I have that is in the first ever teaser that isn't in the movie, that is in the movie, that is completely different, is, if I skip ahead, it'll be at some point in this. That's in it. That's in it. That's in it. This is Hawkeye. Yeah, we know, dude. Oh, okay, I've skipped over it. At some point, I think it might be here. I know it happens, and I'm gonna have to just explain what it is.
What is it?
I'm really annoyed that I can't find it, because I love it. I'm going right back to the beginning quickly.
We have to cut this out.
No, we don't. It's fine. They can listen for a second. So, basically, the shot that it is Rocket walks through a wooden door in a shack in the middle of nowhere. And it's such an out-of-place shot.
I know that's what you're talking about. I don't know which trailer it's in.
It's such an out-of-place shot. I'm now just going through trailers to find this thing. It's not in that. It's such an out-of-place shot, anyway. And it's so weird, because you don't know when it comes into it. It's Rocket and Hulk going into Thor's shack, but it cuts before you get to the Seer shack, and Hulk's not in the shot. And I just love that. That is probably the one that you never would have guessed that context.
Yeah. Well, this is why I like re-listening to our old podcast, and I've listened to a lot of the others since watching Endgame and going, where did it actually go?
So
it's really interesting.
To conclude, we'll do some more podcasts. You should listen to them.
Yeah.
We have a name now. We're now called This is the Two Dudes Movie Podcast.
It is indeed.
On the Two Dudes YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And probably other places eventually.
Yeah, so like and subscribe. Hopefully.
Yeah, have a bit of a wee comment. Let us know you're listening, so we're not just talking to ourselves.
Which we usually do.
Which we would be doing anyway. And yeah, so this has been our Endgame review. To repeat, we gave it a woo! And not a boo. That's about it, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just wrap it up. The ending was a bit weird because we just sort of went into listening to trailers because I was trying to make a point.
On to Far From Home.
On to Far From Home.
Which should hopefully give us a better... Well, maybe tomorrow's trailer will give us a better hint of where we're going.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Subscribe, and then you can get all our videos. And then you've got to press the bell or something. But you might not have to, or maybe you should. Yeah. Do what you want. Live free. Live free, die young. Well, don't die young. That's the opposite. Don't die young. Die as old as possible. Die as old as Captain America.
Right. Thanks for coming, guys.
Thanks for coming. They're not here.
Thanks for listening.
And now it's the end game. Doing it again. End game. 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 End